Across the UK, on DAB+, on your smart speaker, on your smart TV, and on your side. This is Talk.
Oh, very good evening to you. Yes, I am back.
Yeah.
How long for? I have no idea, but at least for the next hour, hopefully, back on James Well Unleashed.
Oh, you've left your snot rag hanging out. That's a bit embarrassing. Oh, no.
It's supposed to look nice. There's nothing on it. It's just supposed to be, look a little bit.
There is something on it, but...
Yeah. Anyway, listen, welcome back to the programme. Thank you very much indeed. Loads to talk about tonight. If you want to join us, let's get the phone number up on the screen. Check that they've spelled our names right.
No, they forgot the S off Wales.
No, you don't, there is no West S. On the
Wales.
On the end of Wales. The number to ring, if you're watching us on talkTV and on Talk Radio, the number 0344 499 1000. I sound a bit... I'm just going to tell you a bit about me, as people know, regular viewers. I'm not looking for any sympathy, by the way. I'm just going to tell you why I sound a bit strange from time to time. So I'm terminally ill. I'm at the end of my cancer, people call it journey, expedition, whatever. I'm right at the end level. I'm off all treatment. There is no treatment that I can have anymore. But I am absolutely... I can't tell you how grateful I am for News and Talk to actually let me on the air, and sit next to him, which is a real pain in the butt, but I've been doing it for 25 years. And it might actually be helping me, you never know.
It does.
It might actually be helping me. So I don't let that cloud my judgment. But on the medication I'm on, like hormone replacements and various other things, did you not call one of them a happy pill?
Yeah,
I think you did.
happy pills, and because he's...
I'm not transitioning at all.
He's lactating.
I'm not lactating either. Will you stop it?
Sorry, mate.
And I can't play women's football. That's
a different reason.
But the fact is, I'm not very well, so I apologise for that. And if I trip over things, I apologise. But I'm hoping to be able to go on for another few weeks, few months. Yeah. But as soon as I can't do the show anymore, I won't. So I just wanted to let you know. And if you want to find out any more, I do a podcast with my wife called Tales of the Wales. There is an S on that.
Oh, it is Wales.
No. Yeah. And you can find that where you get your podcasts, on X or
your podcast provider.
Spotify, Apple
Podcasts,
Apple Pie.
And you Twitter it. Sometimes you accidentally WhatsApp it to me, thinking you've tweeted it.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry about that. I know you know where to get it. Yeah. So anyway, that's me done now. Now listen, the other thing is, I've been doing this a long, long time, and I need to tell people who've never heard before, because I do find people have over 50 years actually never heard of James Whale. And so I just have to warn you that sometimes I'm just a little tetchy and a little rude. Yeah. I don't mean to be, but some people in this day and age, some of you...
You get triggered,
I can't use the word I'd like to and would have done a few years ago. Some of you get really upset and complain. Yeah. And then Ofcom, a bunch of woke whatsits as well, they go, oh, you poor person, we can't have people...
They even have warnings on Wurzel Gummidge now.
They do not.
Yeah, we talked about it in Plank of the Week. Yeah, because it is about, it's quite vicious.
Really?
He threatens to behead people and to be thrown on the fire. But that's what we were brought up with as kids, and it didn't...
There's no discipline in this world today. Yeah. No discipline.
Since they got rid of capital punishment at schools, at assembly.
To really annoy... And so, listen, if you're easily upset, go away. Now, to start off tonight, I think I want to talk a bit about Nigel Farage, the country's... hero.
And reform. Amazing result.
They have just done amazingly. But I don't think Nigel's hard enough. I hope he's going to be. But before any of the potholes, of which one broke a friend of mine's wheel today going down, not just the tyre, the wheel.
That's why they put the white lines. If they put the white lines around it, if you notice, it means they're not liable. That's why they're doing it.
But we haven't got money to fix those because we're putting horrible people who are coming to this country illegally in boats and in the backs of lorries, hiding out to break into Britain, and we are just letting them do it.
$8 billion a year that's costing.
Now, you actually think Nigel's tough. Now, Nigel and I have been friends for well over 20 years or so. It has to be said.
Oh, you've left your phone on.
Have I? How terrible that is. Who is it?
And now they're evicting people, British people, from their houses so migrants can move in.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But that is actually, I saw a labourer the other guy going, I've just been given notice to leave because migrants who've just got in are moving in with the government paying their rent, and he's kicked out.
Well, I think this is what needs to be done. We have a brilliant Navy. I'm sorry, I have absolutely... All those... I want to use the W word on these people. All those of you who go, oh, no, and Nigel got up to ask a question in PMQs, and I don't know who the lame brain idiots sitting behind him were. Liberal Democrats. Why would anybody vote for a Liberal Democrat? I've never understood. And now they're the second, or came second in the local... political polls today. But why on earth would anybody vote Liberal Democrat? They're useless. But anyway, they were mouthing all kinds of things behind Nigel.
Calling far right, all the insinuations with the mainstream media. And I like how it was handled by that woman. She used to be a Tory, and she said, well, look, if you're just going to point this out, I'm not going to bother. You're just trying to get a scoop.
I liked her.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? I mean, she just said, well, they should be put in tents like in France, and they wouldn't come. She goes, oh, you wouldn't, and like making all this your far
Sky, useless organisation, as far as their news in this country is concerned.
They're shutting down soon, aren't they?
No, Sky is going to broadcast in the way we are, but it's they changed management in Sky, didn't they, not long ago? Yeah. And you can see they've become left.
Sky Australia is very good. That's how it used to be. But,
yeah, I know. I'll take the guest when I flipping will want, not when the producer yells in my ear. Your guest Paul Richards is waiting. That's probably put him back another 10 minutes. The fact is that we have got these people coming in. They're mostly men of a military age. They come to this country, and whoever's sending me messages, I can't turn it off. How do I? An
hour like it could have been asleep or anything.
Yeah, it just. But
I know. I left me.
Anyway, can we stop having a private conversation? So, I want to see any of these people who are over here now in hotels move to a camp, call it any sort of camp you like, put in tents, and then just unceremoniously shipped back to France.
Well, then the word will spread and the others won't want to come anymore.
Yeah, France can deal with it because they were in their country last. Yeah. And if France wants to fall out with the United Kingdom, you look back in history, it's not a good idea.
It's not a pretty sight.
And we need to use our armed forces in the way that they are meant to be used, and they would agree. We have a brilliant Navy. We have useless bloody politicians, but we have a brilliant Navy. And they need to be in the Channel. And people head here illegally, no papers, nothing. Then they need to be shown the way back. They need to be shown the way back. If they need towing, if they need a boat to save them, fine. I don't want to drown anybody. But if they keep coming, it'll get worse and worse for them and worse. We don't want them in this country. There are this is why reform had such a great result. We do not want people coming to this country illegally. Call me your thoughts, 0344 499 1000. I am not extremely right-wing. I could assure you.
You'd be mad not to come here if you're from abroad. You get everything paid for if you're a young lad. It's a ridiculous situation.
You know, it has to stop. Yeah. It has to stop, and it has to stop tomorrow. And it could be stopped tomorrow. You could begin getting them out of the hotels, and now we're looking for houses to put them in. Yeah. Luckily, most of those woke wallies who were local politicians are out. And Nigel, get on with it and do it. Okay, he is the boss, and I'm glad. I am extremely glad. And I am really embarrassed about colleagues of mine in the media who behave like a bunch of lefty liberal...
They're activists. They're plain and simple.
Yeah, and that one you said with the interview had no idea. Asked the same question over and over
And
again.
you see what they are, Emily Maitlis saying, oh, maybe it's a good thing, actually, that we've done this, so now they can really go for it with their Labour policies. I mean, they're totally in denial and delusional, man. It's dangerous.
Paul Richards used to be a Labour advisor, but I imagine, Paul, welcome to the programme, by the way, I imagine you're glad you've given them all up.
Hello. Well, that was a very entertaining 10 minutes.
What did you say? Don't patronise me. I'm giving you this now. Do not patronise me. I am not in the mood, OK? We are being invaded because of people like you.
That have been elected all over the country. I think they're going to wake up tomorrow and realise they're in charge of multi-million-pound public services. Migration, obviously, isn't one of them, nor are some of the other things that they stood on, like the National Health Service. But they are now responsible for the bins and social care, schools and parks, and they've got to show that they can run services. And
like
if
Labour can't.
Under disarray, then the whole reform mission fails. So it's quite high risk that they've now taken over.
What's high risk about it?
Well, because most of them have got no experience, and I wouldn't trust them to run a bar.
Be hard to do worse than Labour. I mean, look at Birmingham. We've got rats the size of pigs running around there, and that's the Labour
hang on. Are you quite happy for these people to invade this country, to come here, men of a military age, for us to welcome them, give them a nice place to live, food and some money? You're happy to do that, are you?
Well, James, the results of the council
don't call me James, call me Sir.
Well, what would you like me to call? Sir James? That would be something, wouldn't it? I think
call me James
elected,
Whale MBE.
Yeah.
Have you got an MBE?
I do not, no.
No, I do.
One day, maybe.
So let's show a little more respect.
Congratulations. So
you are a sarcastic, silly slop, aren't you? The fact is that you are exactly the sort of person that has got Labour into the position that it's in now, where nobody, unless you're completely barking mad, wants to see you or listen to what you've got to say.
Well, we did win 3 mayoralties on Thursday, so the big, focus on Lincolnshire and Andrea Jenkins, an ex-Tory, by the way, as indeed.
How many people went out to vote for you? How many people didn't?
Well, the same percentage that just got elected. All these councillors that you're saying is so good news. It's the same percentage. But the fact is, we won three mayoralties for Labour. We won 3.
Yeah. So
including the West of England that the Greens were supposed to be winning.
I am so sad for all those people under a Labour council, and because you couldn't organise a piss up in a brewery, could you?
That's democracy, I'm afraid. If you
they don't like that Labour. I mean, they cancelled a lot of these council elections, didn't they?
Well,
for
they've been
spurious reasons.
Postponed next year.
Postponed, oh yeah.
They'll be back.
Can I ask you a serious question? Here's a serious question.
Please do, yeah.
Are you not embarrassed to actually put yourself around in the media as a former Labour advisor? And why former?
Well,
I mean, I'm sure if they ask you something now, you'll advise them.
Well, I do, and the point there is that I used to be a special advisor under the last Labour government. So I worked under Tony Blair and Gordon Brown, and we were doing things like the national minimum wage.
He was a great Prime Minister, wasn't he, Tony Blair?
Well, I think we had a pretty good standard of living. And
he's the one who got us into this mess.
And the best results for the National Health Service in its history.
Do you want to talk about Iraq, illegal wars, stuff like that?
Destruction of our constitution.
I support getting rid of Saddam Hussein. I think that was a good step forward, actually.
Yeah. Well, why don't you support getting rid of these other people breaking into our country?
Well, this is low-hanging fruit. Just say, put
it's not low-hanging. Do you not understand? Are you this out of touch and stupid that you do not understand that this is what people want?
That will solve the
These people are...
Listen to me. Will tell you that it won't work.
These people, if they're given permission, it'll work. If they what are you scared of? If they had bloody guns, you'd be turning them away, wouldn't you?
If it was an easy thing and there was a single, simple solution, then any government would
make
do it.
A solution.
Just give them tents like France. There's a solution for you.
Migration, do we?
Just make them live in tents.
Illegal migration. So well, how will that deter people?
Well, you're not going to want to live in a tent. That's why they leave France. Don't give them a 4-star hotel. Put them in a detention
they're living
centre.
in tents in Hyde Park now. They're already here living in tents.
Well,
clear them out.
Get rid of them. I am so glad you're a Labour advisor.
Sending the Navy in would not work, as the Navy would tell you. It's far more complex than that. That's why it's difficult. That's why.
Why is it more complex?
Well, because the gangs are very clever, because the incentives are there for people to come.
So why does that make it more complex? If they're coming illegally, what is more complex?
We stopped it from Belgium.
your solution is to send gunboats up the channel, and I'm saying
I didn't say gunboats, but you know, if it needs gunboats, I didn't know you had gunboats.
Just put them somewhere not nice rather than a 4-star hotel, then the word will spread. They won't want to come. Of course you're going to want to come.
Those hotels are not nice. They're
what,
not
luxury 4-star hotels?
This idiot is a man who's probably claimed 3 hotels. Sorry, you got to go, mate, because you're embarrassing. And not only have you got to go because you're embarrassing, you've got to go because you're winding me up, and it doesn't do me any good. Thank you. Goodbye, Paul Richards. There we are. Proves exactly, doesn't it, what I'm saying?
He hasn't been looking at those audits. People going round to these hotels. These are top hotels, 4-star with pools and gyms.
And don't be nice to him afterwards and say thank you for coming.
Just cut him off.
Honestly.
Yeah. Bloody hell.
No, Ofcom, give him a number.
They've got no idea, have they? They're destroying this country. I mean, it's literally, it's good. He hung up.
Oh, he hung up before they could talk to him.
Have a go at him for hanging up.
Is he furious?
Good.
Brilliant. He's still watching, I can guarantee him.
Maybe he'll learn something.
In a moment. All right, don't get carried away. The fact is that these people can be deterred if we stop giving them so much, inviting them to come in all the time. And of course, it's going to be difficult. But these people are invading this country. And before we start mending potholes, before we start getting the bin men, well, we can sort the bin men out. We can just make it illegal if you happen to work for the cleansing department.
Yeah.
Illegal to go on strike, and maybe we'll do that in certain areas. But we cannot take any more of this waste of our money, which we don't have.
There's danger to our streets. There's women who can't go out now because they're getting started on it. It can happen with white people, but it's much more proportionally high amongst people who don't have any ties to this country.
And then make sure that every veteran who leaves our armed forces has somewhere decent to live when they have served their country. Got any thoughts? Call us 0344 499 1000.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on your smart speaker, on your smart TV, and on your side. This is Talk.
Yes, it is. Welcome back. James Whale Unleashed. Ash sitting in the corner, doing social media at the moment.
I'm just putting our movie out. We had a technical glitch.
The fact is that I can't get over that bloke who was Paul Richards, who was very proud of being a former special advisor to probably the world's worst member of parliament at the time, Tony Blair. But there we are, and patronising. How do the Labour Party not realise how much people now want another election Okay. The only thing I'd agree with him is that, yes, Nigel has really now got to do it. And I think he will. I've known Nigel for years. I think he will actually get on and do what he is able to do. We might see the government trying to take power away from the local authorities. Right, let's see what you have to say. Ray in Hampshire. Ray.
Right.
Hi, James. Am I
Yes.
talking to you?
You are Ray. What can I do for you?
It's Roy, actually.
Sorry, Roy.
It's Roy. Listen, James, for about £2 or £3 million, the government could stop this overnight, these people coming into our country.
How would they do that?
If they were to purchase 10 to 15 ribs, what the Royal Marines use, they've got a speed of over 40 knots. And with the technology, with the drones, they could spot them leaving France, they could intercept them on their side of the channel and turn them back. If they jump in the water, they could radio through to the French to come and pick them up.
But they're not going to do that.
I couldn't agree, Roy, with you more, okay? And it is Roy, isn't it? Yeah, Roy. I couldn't agree with you more, and I think that's what we need to do. But these poxy politicians that we have in charge at the moment, and by the way, most of the opposition who've disappeared, they don't have the guts to be tough with France for some reason. And it all happened before the Second World War. They all got complacent. Now, if we don't stop this, we're going to be, I don't know, 100 years from now, probably English won't be the first language.
Less than that. I mean, we're getting 1 million a year. We had 1 million in about the first 40 years before we started getting 1 million a year.
And people are now saying, well, you can't do this because it embarrasses some people who have a different culture. If you have a different culture, sod off. We don't need you.
We've got a returns deal with Belgium, and that works. They don't come from Belgium anymore. It's France who are paying silly buggers. So we're just putting up with it.
Thing more to you?
You may.
Last night and the night before, Kevin was on about the Royal Marines dropping their standards. If you remember, the Queen's son, Prince Edward, joined the Royal Marines.
He failed it,
and he had to leave. They didn't drop the standards for him.
They won't drop.
They want to drop it for the rest of the population.
Let me tell you this, I'm very, very proud of a very close member of my family, young man.
Yeah, I know, mate.
I'm not going to say who, but he's a Marine, fully fledged. It took him 2 years to get through the training because, of course, if you have an accident or they'll put you back until you can, if you can get through.
Well, I've soldiered with the Marines, mate. I know what it's all about.
Yeah, and
they're some of the best in the world.
Yeah, and the way that these politicians, none of which now have been in the armed forces, or not really. Some of them have done a bit of catering, apparently. Although, no, there is Tom Tugendhat has been on the front line. And so
James Cleverly, he was a caterer.
Yeah,
he was the best mash dolloper in the
I've got a lot of respect for Tom Tugendhat. When I'm rude about politicians, I'm not rude about all of them. There are some really good ones around as well. Roy, thank you very much indeed for that. Very good points. Good call to start off with. Rebecca, who's in Nottingham. Rebecca.
Hiya.
I have no patience with people who are not ready to talk. Never have had, never will. Talk away, Rebecca. What?
My worry is the fact that all these people are coming across. We don't know who they are. They could be rapists, murderers, mafia. Anyone, and if we were to end up going to war with,
well, a lot of them don't like us.
Yeah. All right, Rebecca, I get the idea. Thank you very much indeed. I think we'd all agree with you.
Yeah.
Brad says Paul Richards is one of the nastiest on the Labour side. I don't think he can't be one of the nastiest. That's very hard.
There's a lot of competition.
James Nash, I would love to see you both smiling. You have such lovely faces. Love, Ali. Thank you, Ali. Ready?
There. How's that?
Good. Okay. Dan in Washington. Dan, you're on
Warrington.
Is it Warrington? Dan.
Warrington. Yeah, hello guys. I get sick of the guy that you had on before, where they say, "Oh, it's not as simple as that to deport them and send them back." It's just not the answer's not simple. It is. take them back to France, put them on the beaches, and if it causes a diplomatic incident with France, so be it. I went to Iraq in 2003. It seemed easy enough for Blair to send us there to that war. You know, it seems easy enough to build a big camp called Camp Bastion.
Yeah.
You know, that hosts, tens of thousands of troops in no time at all.
That's all we need to do. We don't even need to stop them. Just build a camp. So you come here, you're going in this camp, you're never getting in the country.
Yeah.
It's up to you to get out somewhere else.
But why do we keep having these guys that say it's not quite as simple as that, but then they have no answer?
That's the only way out of it, isn't
because they're politicians and they don't have any idea what they're doing, particularly on the Labour side. The Labour must be incredibly worried and embarrassed, and the amount of dross coming out of the mouths of their supporters about Nigel, none of them who know Nigel, by the way, and reform. And I'm not sticking up for one party more than another, but I'm sticking up for Nigel. I've known Nigel a long, long time, and he's a decent bloke. Now, he will get done what he can get done, but sometimes it is impossible until the laws are changed. Until the laws are changed, you need to get into Parliament to change laws, and hopefully in the future we'll be out of the judicial system that's
you just got to repeal what Blair did, basically.
Yeah, we could actually do it now anyway, because no other country has sovereignty over us, and they can all go and get screwed as far as I'm concerned.
They keep blaming the Tories. They're going to have to give up blaming the Tories soon. I mean, it's nearly a year.
They're laughing at us. They're sitting there saying, let's send over all, you know, you don't want to stay here in France, you don't want to be here in Spain or whatever. Go to Britain, they'll give you hotel rooms, money, food, education, free driving lessons. Get over there.
I mean, with the Conservatives as well, fellas, I mean, come on, they were in for 14 years.
Useless, absolutely.
They carried on with the Blairist project for some reason.
They had a massive majority in Parliament. They could have changed the laws to suit them. So they're as bad as, in fact...
I agree.
They allowed Labour to get in knowing it was going to be a car crash.
And I think Kemi Badstock is not an ideal leader of any political party. She's not tough enough. And I think Boris was a bit henpecked. I like Boris, but I think he was a bit under the thumb and went on all these bloody
Liz Truss
green
was good,
things.
but the Blob stitched her up, and the city, they didn't want her. They're now in control, the corporates and the world, WEF.
Yeah, we need to sort that out.
Yeah.
Good. Dan, thank you very much indeed.
She's in reform now, of course.
Heather in Given in Scotland, what can we do for you, Heather?
Well, I am glad that our friend Nigel Farage has won, and it's a landmark for reform. This is the change that this country, United Kingdom, is wanting for a long time, because we are sick and tired of the lies from both Labour and Conservatives. They're nothing but hypocrites, and they have betrayed every single voters of the whole of the United Kingdom completely, because now Nigel Farage is winning in by-elections. By God, when it comes towards the general election, we are going to have a reformed government.
Well,
and mark my words on this, we are definitely going to have Nigel Farage as our Prime Minister.
All right, Heather, let's
so badly need a man like him with integrity.
Thank you, Heather. That's enough. We don't want to go on, otherwise we might jinx the whole thing, mightn't we? Heather, thank you very much indeed. Good point. But you know, there are only so many things you can do, but you have to have the will to do them. Well, I think Nigel does.
These last 15 years has been basically treasonous against the people who, the majority in a democracy, we don't want this mass immigration. And they've said, never mind, we're doing it. I mean, if that's not treason, what is?
Yeah. Lawrence in, can't see that from here. Colchester. Lawrence, hi.
Hello, James.
Lawrence, what can we do for you?
All right, Larry.
Hi, Ash. Nice to talk to the parents.
Lawrence, never mind about nice to talk. Just what do you want to talk about? Come on. Let's get to it, mate.
Hang on. Stop being
Thank you, Lawrence. Bye-bye. Let's talk to Paul in South Wales. Hello, Paul.
Hi, mate. All right,
yeah, good, Paul. What can we talk about?
What it is, guys, so landed to see Farage and the party smashing those imbeciles from the Tories and Labour today. When they come to the Senate next year, they will walk through Wales. We're all behind them, okay? And this prick Starmer, sorry for the language, you've got to go.
Gosh. That must be a Welsh word.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, he hasn't got a clue. He's ducking and diving the issues, okay?
Yep.
He's going after everyone else bar these illegal immigrants, and he's got to go. He's a spineless coward and a bully. He's got to go.
Couldn't agree. Listen, Paul, thank you for your call, mate. Very sensible. Let's talk to Joe in Nottingham.
Oh, hi. I'm just wondering why every time a Labour MP is asked a question, that they sound like a robot. Sounds like they are reeling off some sort of spiel where it doesn't make sense. They never answer a question. Nobody ever holds them accountable for anything they ever say.
You're right.
That's general politicians, and that's where reform are different.
The reason is they have in parties what are known as whips. Whips tell them the line that they have to follow. And if you want to get on as a politician, if you want to have a career in politics, then you do as you're told by the front bench or the government. Otherwise, you're never going to get anywhere.
But it just feels like some sort of spiel which has just come out. They're all robots, all of them. I've watched countless interviews this morning after what's happened last night with reform, and all of them have come out with the same rubbish. The same spiel, the same absolute...
I mean, they know we don't believe it, but they just come out like when Starmer went, oh, I'm very proud of our history of freedom of speech. No one believes him, but he doesn't care. But maybe this will make them care a bit, but probably not. They're only in it for themselves. Hold on for 5-10 years and make your packet and then leave. They're not conviction politicians.
Yeah.
No.
Very good point, Joe. Really, really good point. And I wish people would What?
That was my point.
Was it?
Yeah.
No, I think it was Joe's
was
point.
It? Well done,
she brought
Joe.
it up.
Nice one.
Joe, thank you very much indeed for that. Should we take a little break or not? We can?
Yes, let's.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on your smart speaker, on your smart TV, and on your side. This is Talk.
Right, yes, here we go. Thank you very much indeed. Welcome back. If you want to join us, the number is on the screen, and if you're listening on Talk Radio, it is 0344 499
1000.
Thank you very much. And if you want to tweet us or text us or
text us 87222, text the word talk in your message. If you want to WhatsApp messenger us, it comes up on the answer machine, then just go on WhatsApp and it's 034, it's just a number, and you can WhatsApp.
Well, yeah, send us a message. We'll play a couple of messages, but they must be short. The other thing is that if you go on X or Twitter and see some of the responses.
And you can see him on his little, he's got an e-scooter sort of thing with a seat on it.
So far.
At Virtual Ash.
I'm not walking terribly well anymore, but I haven't got an e-scooter.
Well,
it is
like,
electric.
It's sort of like an e-scooter, but with 4 wheels.
I refuse to call it a mobility scooter.
It's like it's got stabilisers.
E-scooter, it's an
Yeah, e-cigarettes.
Yeah.
E-cigarette.
Right, let's talk to Robert, who's in...
Hertfordshire, Bob.
Hi, James. Hi, Ash. I voted Reform yesterday, but what next for Nigel and Reform? How does he assemble some quality candidates in the next few years to really go for it? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, he has to go through the same process that every other political party does. Remember, he's put together a political party in the fastest time probably ever done. And now he has shown that there is the will out there for people who want to follow something different, because let's face it, Labour and Conservative are really parties of the past. And a lot of people voted for Liberal Democrats, which I cannot understand. When you look at the leader of the Lib Dems, he's just a clown.
My wife was going on the way up there to vote in Bishop Stortford to the sports centre. I asked my wife what she was going to vote, and she said Lib Dems. Well, in the 5-minute walk, I managed to persuade her to vote for Reform.
Did you check? Did you go in the booth with her to check?
No. I used to go in a few telephone booths when we was courting back in the day.
Well, I think that Nigel is now in a position where he has got to show that he can do what people want him to do. Now, whether it's mending potholes, getting rubbish picked up, whatever it is in your area where they are in charge, getting it done. And as he said today, saving money, because the money that local authorities are spending in expenses as well as in
money going to various places that people don't know about, taxi companies. But they're very careful about how they get their councillors and MPs now. They all get checked, and even if you've sworn, some people are saying it's going too far. If you've sworn on Twitter or something, I mean, that would rule you out.
I was invited to run for council. I got a lovely letter from.
So they have got quite low standards.
Sorry about that. Ignore him, Robert.
I've got a letter asking me if I want to run for, but I haven't got the temperament. I'll start throwing a few right-handers about. I know what I'm like.
That happened before, didn't it?
No, I think Nigel's got to make sure that the people who've got voted in, and hopefully they've had enough time, and local areas have been able to check them. They've got quite a big setup now, and I think as soon as he hands the party, which he's in the course of doing over to the public, which of course needs to be done, I think we'll see some interesting moves. But
we didn't win Bishop Stortford, by the way. No, the Social Democrats won it, unfortunately.
You needed to talk to more people, not just the wife.
Well, I mean, I was saying to Ash and Andre last night that.
Oh, you are a regular.
Well, yeah.
He puts himself about.
He does, yeah.
Actually, you've never slung me off yet, so that's
Bye, Robert. Thank you very much indeed. Good to talk. Let's talk to... Have I? Oh, OK, fine. Right, I want to change subject a little bit, and I want you to shut up for a minute. I am sick and tired of the bullying that is going on about Harry and Meghan. This whole business about saying Harry cannot have protection is just bollocks, to be quite frank with you. I am fed up to the back teeth with the media. It's a story of really no importance, but if there's one person who has a target on their back and who's not looking for stuff for nothing, that is a red herring, but is looking that authorities, whichever country he's in, are aware and prepared to protect. He takes his own protection staff with him, I'm sure. But the way people are going on about Harry, the fact, I understand this really well. I mean, we families, we fall out from time to time and then we make it up and everything else. He is such an easy target for the media to pick on. And I'm so happy that he has managed to keep his marriage together, because quite frankly, there'd be a lot of people who wouldn't under the stress he's been put on. And, the guy's been in battle, fought for this country, is the fifth in line to the crown, and is just a heck of a well-known person. We need to show him more respect, and we need to look after him. I mean, who was the Prime Minister who only lasted a couple of months?
Liz Truss.
Liz Truss,
Yeah.
Prime Minister for a couple of months, will have security around her for the rest of
An
her
amazing
life.
full pension as well, Prime Ministerial
Yeah,
pension.
and a full pension. The
only thing is he
pension.
decided to quit royal duties.
Well, I'm not. He did.
He'll
because
still
he
get
was forced.
protection on a pro rata, you know, if it's coming for the King's this or whatever,
So
he'll get it.
let's talk to Di Davis, former Royal Protection Officer, I believe. Is that right, Di? Or you were the head?
Former head.
Yes, hello. I was the O2 commander in charge overall of the Her Majesty the Queen and the entire then British family, royal family, about 22 in my day.
Isn't this just a little bit off, this continual harassment of what is a young guy who's grown up, saw his mother tragically killed, has had to put up with the media in his face, and the media, royal commentators are always going on as if they are good friends with the royal family. Most of them have never even spoken to them. This is just bullying, isn't it?
Well, let's take it back 5 years. He decided to leave being a full-time royal. He had discussed that with the late Queen. I think we need to get things in perspective. He does get protection when he comes to this country, when he gives, or they decided, Ravak, the committee, if he gave 28 days notice, which would allow people to reconnaissance what he's doing, where he's doing, he will get it, and he will get armed protection. That's what he really is after, because he feels that terrorists would attack him in this country or his family, and they would be armed. And what he feels is if he doesn't have this armed protection, then he would be at risk. And he may well have a point.
What about...
Well, I say...
sorry, just to butt in. What about, Di, the fact that somebody may suddenly call him from England and say, look, your dad is in a really bad way. Can you pop over tomorrow and see him?
In that case, he would get it. And let me just also clear, there's a lot of people talking through their proverbial backsides about this. He gets liaison. In other words, even if he's not getting police full-time armed protection, he would get a liaison officer. And as far as I know, I'm not in charge now, he gets it every time he comes. So if there was a perceived risk, if there was a known risk, or if the committee and the intelligence services had any inkling that the risk was there in this country, let's face it, there's always a risk, whoever you are, he would get it. So he does, and his team are all ex-royalty protection officers. They know the score. And the last time any armed officer had to draw a gun in royalty protection was when Princess Anne was actually attacked in the Mall.
Yeah.
So we need to get things in
Princess Diana had a retired royal protection officer with her, hired privately, didn't? But he wants it 24 hours a day. He wants royal protection. He wants us to pay for it in America as well.
No, he doesn't.
I don't think he does.
No, he doesn't.
That's what the royals get.
No,
That's what he
Ash,
wants.
you're in the media.
I don't think
Stop talking rubbish.
He wants full protection.
Sorry, Di. I have to keep him under control. He doesn't know what he's
protection,
talking about.
He wants it, though.
Well, I think he's entitled to whatever he wants to think. But let me try correct things here.
Yeah.
No, he gets, and he pays several £million for protection in LA. Rightly so. It's far more dangerous than this country will ever be. I've worked there. I've worked with the FBI there. I've liaised with the Secret Service there. So with a great respect, he's far more at risk in LA than he'll ever be here. What they like is the protocol. They like that they can whiz through London with motorbikes. Everything is done for them. All they have to do is sit there quietly. James, I take some of the point you're saying, and yes, of course, some elements of the media, and frankly, I thought twice whether I should come on here, because frankly, I'm fed up, frankly, of telling the truth as far as his protection is concerned.
Let me stop you there, because you are the most sensible person I've spoken to about this, and I think there are so many more important things to discuss. And I want to ask you a quick question about something totally unrelated. I've become slightly addicted to watching reels on social media of horse guards. You know, the Blues and the Royals who sit on their horses outside royal buildings and sit there protection. Now, the ones on Horse Guards Parade have armed police around them the whole time. But they also have hundreds of tourists clamouring and getting up to them and touching them and their horses and everything else. And being in uniform, they are huge targets for a terrorist. You've only got to shoot one, haven't you, really? And you'll get all the publicity you want. Why are we still allowing these people to be put in such danger?
Well, it's a fair question, of course, but we're British and we've always done this. And again, when I took over command in Royalty Protection back in the 90s, the late Queen didn't like the fact that I ordered all the officers to actually carry guns, those who were equipped to, and believe it or not, most of them, when I arrived, weren't armed officers, which was ridiculous because the IRA were bombing the sugar. And you talk about the Horse Guards parades, of course, they murdered not only horses, but the people on them back in Hyde Park, if you recall.
On the bandstand,
yes.
I remember that,
People take a risk, and the truth is, if you want to blow any of us up, you can. And if the lunatic, and we've got quite a lot of those in this country, if they really wanted to do it, and the poor old security services are monitoring so many in this country, it's amazed, frankly. I think from my head, about 34 terrorist acts have been, as it were, stopped as a consequence of good intelligence, but they only have to succeed once. I was on a program with the IRA bomber who bombed the Brighton. And I said, I'd have shot you. And he said, I'd have shot you back. But I would have shot him, and I would have killed him. End of story. And I'm afraid we're so pussyfooting around with some of these people, we don't take enough action against those we perceive to be a danger.
Well, even outside Parliament, they weren't armed till that poor guy got stabbed to death. Now they're armed.
They are, and they should be armed, unfortunately. But it's so rare in this country, so we've got to put Harry's protection. Many of the royals that I used to protect, particularly the elderly ones, don't get it anymore. They're as much at risk because many of them served in Northern Ireland. We've still got those nutters still around.
Well, Mountbatten, remember what happened to him.
The IRA haven't gone away. Much as people think they have, there's still a huge risk from terrorism, homegrown, and boy, have we got some lunatics in this country.
Di, can I thank you very much indeed. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and hopefully we might talk again. And he said everything I wanted to say, really. I thought
I told you you'd agree.
I thought we were going to have a massive argument. You know, now you've ruined the programme. But thank you very much indeed for that. We must take a break.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on your smart speaker, on your smart TV, and on your side. This is Talk.
It is indeed. Very good evening. Welcome back. James Well, Unleashed, at least until 11, with Ash looking after things for me as well. And if you want to join us now for the final 10 minutes of the show, it'd be great to hear what your thoughts are. 03444991000. You know, I get really annoyed with colleagues in the media I don't colleagues. I mean, I've got colleagues here, very nice people, and this is a great place to be. But in some of the other flipping stations, they're obsessed with Harry and Meghan, and really there are so many important things to worry about. The most important thing, what we talked about at the beginning, we're being invaded by people from other countries. If they had anything, these people, they'd be staying in their countries supporting it. I think we did exactly the right thing, taking people, mums and children in from Ukraine and looking after them. The men stayed and fought and are fighting.
And they want to go back when it's finished. They're taking refuge.
Yeah. But, you know, these people coming over here, dumping their... out. And if it has to be that we use force, then so be it.
And they're a net drain on the economy, and then they bring family members. These aren't a net gain. They try and give you this spin, it's beneficial to the country. It just increases the GDP, but not per capita. That's going down.
It's what I just said, Chuck. I'm doing calls now.
Sorry,
I'm not rabbiting on. The other thing I am rabbiting on about now is this continual outpouring of abuse by the left-wing media about people who supported or people voted for reform. They're all right-wing. Do you know the media is full of people who are completely useless?
They're like toddlers having a tantrum, aren't they? Man babies and woman babies. Oh, Trump won. Oh, Farage won. Oh, they're just throwing their toys out the pram. Very immature and childish. Man up and woman up.
Let's do the calls. Lowry is on Merseyside. Lowry.
Good evening, Mr. Wales.
Lowry, what can we do for you?
What I want to know is what happened to that prison boat that they built and was off the south coast.
It wasn't nice enough for them.
Bibi Stockholm.
It wasn't nice enough for them, and so they stopped using it, and they said there was some sort of something in the air.
There was Legionnaires' disease, and they're scared of water, even though they all came on boats.
Yeah, they said they were scared of water.
And the Wi-Fi was no good. The hair solid wasn't good enough.
You know.
Sorry, another kid storm a cockle. Getting rid of the thing.
It was one boat. It would only take one day's boat, people. Not even that. It would only take about 300. We have 600-700 in a day, so it was just a load of rubbish. It was Sunak brought that in.
Was it? Well, we should stick a few more of those in the channel and get them out off the country.
Yeah, Larry, you're absolutely right. Thank you for that. Martin is in Kent. Martin, you're on the air.
Hello, James.
Martin.
Hello, how are you?
Well, it doesn't really matter how I am, Martin. Let's get to the point you rang in for.
Okay, okay. Well, last time we spoke, on the 21st of March...
Oh, God, he's even written down when he spoke.
He's logging when he spoke to
you. Yeah.
What a sad individual you are.
I said I want the country to fail. And when I said that, you sort of like said, no, that can't happen. I didn't mean the country itself. I meant the political system to fail, because it's not representing the majority, it's representing the minority.
Yeah.
So that goes against democracy, as far as I'm concerned. I'd like to know your thoughts on that.
You're right.
Well, I don't really understand what you said.
It is undemocratic because we're not doing what we
You don't want the system to fail. You want the system to change, I think is what you mean. And the system, hopefully, the way it looks to be going after these local elections. But we do need to wait to the next general election, unless, of course, things get so bad that the government just can't... I mean, I don't listen to a word they say at the moment. I'm not prepared to...
But Blair destroyed our democracy, our constitution, and now we can't even... It's now in it's a quangocracy. And
I think you're both right. The NGOs seem to be just carrying on forever, in fact, added to. And these people have more power than their civil servants. So they're not voted for.
And get paid ridiculous amounts of money.
Yeah, exactly. More than their prime minister.
A lot more.
There's something going wrong here.
Martin, you're right. We do need a change. Thank you. Matthew's in Devon. Matthew.
Evening, James and Ash. Hope you're well, James. Good to see you. Today is a fantastic day because Reform have done incredibly well and restored so many people's confidence back into this country, because Labour, we all know what Labour are like, they're completely disastrous. And the thing that's really wound me up today is these Tory ministers and MPs coming out and saying, oh, this is Labour's loss. You had 14 years of people's vote and trust, and you did absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I agree.
You know,
listen, I totally agree with you, and I think the big problem is that people forget it was the Tories and the Lib Dems, and the Lib Dems together when they were in cahoots. Oh, that's not the right word, is it?
They were in a coalition.
That they, you know, they helped get through some of the worst, stupidest, and most pathetic things going, and we're suffering from. I'm totally with you about the Tories, by the way. I don't think the Labour, the Tories, the Lib Dems deserve to be involved.
Ed Davey, I watch him.
He's got a fat stomach at the moment.
Looks like Wayne Rooney, doesn't he?
He's a complete pillock.
Yeah.
You know, how anyone can take that guy seriously, and if you're a Liberal Democrat voter, then you should hang your head in shame. That bloke is not serious at all. And Nigel is the only leader in this country who is trying to change this country. And
he's got an
need
idea, hasn't he?
Yeah, and the problem is, though, now that he's done so well, tomorrow in the media, you are going to see so much retribution, so many stories about him, so much negativity.
All the far-right stuff
James,
and all
but
that. Yeah.
the thing is, James, you know, here in Devon, where I live now, you know, again, going back to, like, normal working people, we've had enough. I spoke to people earlier on who voted Conservative, Liberal Democrats, or the life, whatever. They've had enough. They've all voted Reform.
Yep.
There's a real change in this country, like for a long time. This has not happened for many, many years, and I'm sure in your lifetime.
Yeah.
This is a big change.
Matthew, this is a day that will be talked about for many, many years to come.
The biggest since Brexit,
It's a
isn't it?
historic
Since
day.
that
Matthew,
day.
thank you for that. If you want to join us, phone lines 0344 499 1000. I'm going to go and talk to Tim quickly before I finish and you take over. They have to bring
Keep
my
your calls coming in,
electric scooter. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Keep your calls coming in and have a chat with Ash about his.
Come and have a chat. Andrew will be in as well. Andrew Eborn. Give us a ring now.
What was the other thing I was going to say?
Well, I don't know what was it.
Oh, the number. You might as well do the number.
0344 499. Call it now. We'll get you on. We'll call you back. We've got a few calling in. But just before you go, there's Tim.
Tim
in
Hi.
Sutton.
Hello.
Yes, Tim.
We've only got a minute, Tim.
Get on with it, Tim.
I think leftism is a mental illness.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Have you got anything sensible to say? That's the thing, Tim.
Wokery comes from
sensible would be nice.
Mental issues.
Well, honestly, I think leftism is a mental illness.
Yeah, okay. Well, you're talking rubbish.
Well, there is
aren't
some
you?
science into that has been studied on wokery. Cindy in Michigan.
Thank you, Tim. When you've got something sensible to talk about, come back. Cindy, hello.
Hey, I miss you so much. It's been heck to try to get through to you.
And James is here as well.
We've been really busy. Listen, hopefully I'll be here next Friday. Can we talk on Friday?
Yeah.
Let's do it, Cindy.
Absolutely.
In the meantime, Cindy, thank you for your call. I'm going to go, so you don't have to listen to the poor old
stay
man
on, Cindy,
anymore. We'll get Cindy back after the news.
Come back
and have
next
a chat
week.
with her then.
It was good.
Right, I'll see you Friday. Keep it
man.
Talk TV and Talk.
across the UK. On DAB+, on your smart speaker, on your smart TV, and on your side. This is Talk.
Yeah, James, I better censor myself, haven't I? Yeah, I better censor myself. There's a little cross there.
Right.
Yeah, James has gone. We're just, wiring Andrew up. But yeah, it's the James Wells Show. He's just done an hour. He's gone home. We got a lot in that hour. So, keep it tuned. But give us a ring, 0344 499 1000. Give us a ring now, and we'll ring you back and get you on. We've got a couple of calls. And Cindy was on. What do you want to say, Cindy, in Michigan? You got? Yeah, man.
I want to say I know I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. There's nothing in America like you and James and, of course, Andrew. There's not a show like it. I wish there was.
Really? Because, it's the home of talk radio to States, isn't it? But they, you used to have a good station.
They're censored. They don't take call-ins. There's nothing like the show.
They don't take call-ins?
What's that?
They don't take Collins, Ian Collins.
No, there's not a show. There's not a show. I challenge you.
But they used to take call-ins. What's happened in America? Has it all been captured? Because, of course, you had Howard Stern, who went onto the Sirius network because he had so many problems with the authorities.
Captured, censored.
He got captured, didn't he? Everyone was angry about Howard Stern because he's become woke, hasn't he, since he went on an X Factor or whatever it's called.
He's so woke, and I hate it.
But you've got you've got a lot of internet people now. You've got the alternative media. I mean, what do you think of Rogan and all that lot?
Well, I do. I love those shows, but they don't do call-ins.
No, you're right. They don't do call-ins.
Yes, they don't. I do watch them. So
no, you're right. There's not enough.
So
we get a lot of people in the States watching us. It's quite unusual. And you see overnight that we get a big lot of following, and that must be from the States or people coming in drunk here, the old hitman and her audience.
You guys are going to get really big. And just give it a little
bit listen, look, Cindy, we want to know about... Because the media is all going on about Trump, but we know they hate Trump, so I don't think that's the real story. Is it positive in the States? Because I get the feeling we're not getting a real picture from the media.
You're not. You're not getting the real picture because a lot of the media, like I'd say 92% of coverage is negative. You have a couple of channels here and there that are real and are fair, but they're all the main ones are.
And it's the other way around in the general population. Probably 92% are pro-Trump, or maybe 60, 70%. You know what I mean? So it's the same in this country. We all don't want mass immigration, but we're all told, it's great for the country.
And Cindy makes a brilliant point.
What happened?
Andrew Ebert, hold on, Cindy. Look, it's Andrew Ebert. He had barrister, magician, futurologist. He set fire to his fingers. And tonight, look, ladies, he's not got a tie on.
Thank you. And Cindy, it's so good to hear from you, because what I love is you give us the voice from the ground. I always say if you don't read the newspapers, you're misinformed. If you read the newspapers, you're ill-informed. It worked on that sort of basis. Getting the real noise from the ground is so important, because what they're saying about the States, the couple of things that I had Elon Musk's father, Errol,
Did you? Have you ever had him on before?
No, all the time. But he was telling me the reports about Elon's approval rating, which are terrible in the press, are not true. What's your view?
They're not true, because the coverage, people are going to believe everything that you spoon feed them.
Yes.
So what they're being spoon-fed right now is pure. Trump and Elon can do no right.
This is what they said. This is when these people said Kamala Harris will win the election. It was pretty obvious she wasn't.
Wrong.
Camilla.
And she had so many stars, and it didn't matter. It didn't matter how many stars she had.
But they're in their own delusional bubble, aren't they? I mean, look at Robert De Niro. What happened to him? I mean, they're all still like it. I mean, when are they going to actually change around, or are they just going to keep like that even in 2-3 years when, people just aren't listening to them?
So I guess, Cindy, as well, the other thing is the more we can get voices like yours being heard in the wider media. So this is actually the truth. It's the truth about the situation.
It's the truth, and the people of the UK spoke the truth when they voted.
Yes.
It was a very big shout out or shout down to Labour.
Yes.
Change what you're doing. now.
And the tourists.
This is huge.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
absolutely.
huge
And it's the reform revolution. And as I predicted probably before anybody else, Nigel will be our next PM, I can tell you that. But the reality is this. The reality is this,
I love
however.
him.
You've got, the thing we have to do, Cindy, is to work out, is it just a negative vote? That's what a lot of people are saying. That it's not a positive vote for reform. It's a negative vote against the Tories. It's a negative vote against Labour. What's your view?
That's just their way of taking away from the big win.
Okay.
The huge win. The people have spoken.
Yes.
The people of the UK have made their voices known, and they are shouting out in the loud, what you're doing now, Labour, it's not working.
And also it shows that the Rupert Lowe effect hasn't really had an effect. Reform is still... because they are the only answer to the Uniparty.
It's just a spat. It's just spat, and people have their power struggles, whatever. That's separate.
But they'll try anything now to try and shut down the democracy, like they did with, cancelling or postponing these elections. They'll try loads of things. Like in Germany, look, they tried to go... In France, they banned that, what's the name, from standing in Germany. So they're really trying this stuff on, and that's what they'll do here now.
The AFD, absolutely.
And Labour better listen up and listen now.
Do you think they can salvage it, Cindy? Do you think they can salvage it, Labour?
What's that? Say again?
Do you think they can salvage what they've done?
I don't think she knows what salvage is. She's American, remember.
Can they rescue themselves? Do you think they can come back?
Can they save it? No, I don't think so.
You don't think so? They should just go.
No, it would all be fake now.
Yeah.
But don't you think they might... There's talk they might get rid of Starmer, they might get rid of, in the Tories, Badenoch?
I don't think they're going to go as far as to get rid of Starmer. No, he's going to get rid of other people to show, to try to show some bit of.
Well, he's got to do something, hasn't he?
He can salvage.
Yeah.
But
the other thing, Cindy, as well. The other thing, Cindy, as well, is that, and that's why it's so good to have. We're really interested in American politics. How interested are they in UK politics in America?
They couldn't give a toss, could they?
Well, that's a good question. I
have our
think
good
they do
questions.
care. Well, they act like they care. They
ask like they care. Okay.
Everybody, people in America love to say.
Yes.
Love to say that. The whole world is frowning upon Trump. We're a laughing stock. That's a famous line that people use to put down the party that they're against.
Yes.
That's as much as they
But
pay
Canada
attention.
has become the laughing stock, isn't it? Because they just reacted to Trump saying you want to be the 51st state of America, and then they've gone and voted in that idiot who ran the Bank of England.
Yeah.
Carney, what a buffoons, really.
Right, buffoons. Trump was just trying to take the mick. He's just trying to push it. He's just not serious about that.
It was Trudeau.
I'm sure. Like he's going to take a country and make it our own. You can't do that.
Well, I'll tell you what, Cindy. Trump will go down as the president who has the biggest land grab in history because he wanted Canada, Greenland. He's going to take over the Gaza
Panama
Riviera,
Canal.
and he's also going after Mars as well. So it's going to be the biggest land grab in history.
Right. And you know what? I feel safer in my country because of Trump.
Well, it's good you think that. You're probably not.
Well, all these people, countries literally emptied out their prisons and their asylums.
We got to go. Thanks, Cindy. Let's go to Paula in Halifax. Paula.
Oh, Paula again. Hello, Paula.
Hey up.
Oh, hi, Ash. I've decided on a new name for you.
You what? Sorry?
She's decided on a new name for you.
Yeah, go on then. What?
It's called Wurzel Gummidge.
I remember Wurzel Gummidge. John Pertwee used to play him.
Did you see me on Plank of the Week, by the way? Did you see me? That was one of my things on Wurzel Gummidge. Come and tea and a slice of cake, Aunt Sally. Did you see it?
It's very good.
Watch it on YouTube. Not now. Now we're on, but at 1 o'clock.
Oh, I'm only joking, Ash. You know I am. But
You love Ash, don't you? You phone up all the time.
Wurzel Gummidge.
Wurzel Gummidge. Would you be that Una Stubbs character who was Wurzel Gummidge's girlfriend?
No, bloody wouldn't.
Aunt Sally, if I remember rightly.
Yeah. Aunt Sally.
James.
Aunt Sally.
Would you be his Aunt Sally?
Oh, of course.
I know, because every time you phone up, I love the thing. What I love about this show is there's little patterns and regulars like Cindy in Michigan. We have you, Paula, always with your love fest thrash.
Which classic children's character would Andrew be?
Batman.
Bob.
Batman.
Oh, Batman. There you go.
Very
That'd be very good. Why would I be Batman? I don't like being Batman.
He looks a bit like Bruce Wayne, doesn't he? Yeah.
Oh, do you know, Ash? James Brave.
Ah, he's brilliant, James. We love
it's great getting him in, you know, even for the hour, it's good to get him in, and it's good for him as well, yeah. So it was great having him.
That's what I mean. I mean, I've watched it and stuff, but I thought, I'll ring after and have a laugh for you guys.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Paula, what's really great as well, you and the other brilliant audience that we have are a real tonic for James. It's a real, people need a purpose.
No, it's mainly me that's the tonic.
Well, you're Wurzel Gummidge, right? I know we know about the Love Fest and the art selling.
Yeah.
Wait, you should send in a picture. Have you sent in a picture, Paula?
Have I sent in a picture of me?
Yes, we should have a picture of you, because we have the brilliant producer who can knock something together and make little toys and stuff like that.
I've tried to on WhatsApp, and then I also sent James.
Yes.
James Will a Christmas card, not this Christmas, just gone.
Previous Christmas, okay.
Why didn't you send one this Christmas?
Send in a picture. I'd love to see what you look like. We'll knock something up, then we can show it on screen when you come up.
Yeah, we'll knock you up.
Well, I'm very beautiful, you know.
Well, I realise that. I can tell by your voice. It's got to be good. And the fact, and you're a lady of taste, because you like Wurzel Gummidge, and you are his Aunt Sally. I think that's lovely.
Wurzel Gummidge, yeah.
Anyway, thanks, Paula. I've got a text here. Ash, I know you've been with your sidekick, James Wales, for over 25 years, but you really need to rein him in. He takes over your show for the first hour till he goes to bed. He acts like he owns the place. Your new sidekick, Andrew, is much more polite and far more respectful of your position as anchorman. It's a match made in heaven. Maybe reconsider your sidekick recruitment options and let James Wales have his own show, Martin and Whitley B. Well, he's on probation, James, so we've given a red card, and he's going to...
What sort of a man did he call you?
What man did he call
What
me?
sort of a...
Anchor. Oh, yeah, Anchor Man. Yeah, nearly right. Anyway, look, give me and Andrew a ring, 0344 499 1000. We've got plenty of calls, though. Let's go just before the break. Luke in Bromley, the entrepreneur.
Good evening, guys. Good evening. I'm on my way back, pulled over on the way back from the show at the party with Nigel Farage.
Oh, so because you know Nigel, don't you? Now you sort of have you joined Reform then, obviously, and because you've got quite a big business. You're an entrepreneur, and you're part of this, you know. And Nigel respects people who actually are doing stuff.
People who've got money.
He does. He certainly does. He loves enterprise. He does business. He loves supporting the country.
How was the party? Why is it finished so early?
Check your WhatsApp. I'll send you a photo of me and Nigel if you want to look.
Oh, yes, please. Yeah. Let's have a look.
It's already there.
So you were at his party. What was it like? Tell us any stories at the party, man.
It was great. I was in the VIP section upstairs afterwards as well.
Oh, yeah.
Who was in there with you?
I was sitting next to Zia. We were having a coffee, and
Zia having a coffee?
I haven't heard of Zia having a coffee. Is he?
Was David Bull there? Because he said he's off to do the party.
I was with him. Yeah.
Are you going to stand in any of these things? You know.
I would love to. I could, but I don't think health would permit me to.
Yeah, because you do have Parkinson's, and you're already running a business, so you've got quite a lot on your plate. But what do you think of these? I mean, Darren Grimes, he's now one of the councillors, isn't he? They're great, some of these people.
I said to them, look, you need to get some good strength and depth now, because that's what people are saying. Do you have the right team to be able to put government together? Zia said, you're right. And I said, you need a good chancellor. I said, I fully recommend Liam Halligan. Do you know Liam?
Of course. Yeah. I shared many a studio with him in the past. Yeah. He's brilliant.
He's a good friend of mine too.
Oh, good. There you go. He's also a brilliant musician. Have you heard him play?
He is. The Hooligans.
Yes, that's right. And he's got his daughter in the band as well.
On the Spoons. Right. There's no one better.
I love it. Brilliant. Was he there?
He wasn't, no. He's gone to visit his cousin. But,
right.
No,
well, what I love is David Bull of this parish was at that party.
Bull.
Dr. David Bull. He's been texting me throughout the day because he was on more platforms than Paddington as I normally am.
Well, he'll be on tomorrow morning, won't he? He'll be here.
He won't. No, because Alex Phillips is doing tomorrow morning.
On Sunday.
Yeah, he's going to be back on Sunday. If I remember
he's back on Sunday, but Alex Phillips tomorrow morning.
Alex Phillips tomorrow morning, which is great.
36 hours. That's the point of the start of this thing.
Tell me what was the most scandalous thing about the party today.
Scandalous. Let me see. Well, so they're basically saying, can you believe what we have done? This is a general undertone. We have won so massive, we're now going to have to really get some good staff into control. 600-700 people who are now part of the reform, you know?
Yeah.
And like saying we're going to have to, so they're all really tired, I'll be honest, because they've been up for like 30
they must be completely... That's not scandalous.
It's a great foundation to build on, isn't it? It's a pivot point now, and the future is looking bright, and now people will believe they're a serious proposition.
Yeah. Do you think they're going to patch up with Rupert Lowe?
Look, I said to them, how are you going to get the answer to that one, I don't know. I didn't discuss it with them. By the way,
I don't think so. Not after what's going on and all these court cases. But it'd be good to see that if there was a unification.
Oh, it'd be lovely because, and I hate it when you, as soon as you use the justice system to try and get political points, it's such a shame.
I don't think that was Nigel, was it? I think that was Yusuf, but that's still...
Nigel has high standards and he doesn't want anyone messing about. I think that Nigel's a big force to be reckoned with. He does take a lot of oxygen in the air, and others don't like it sometimes.
What do you think of Ben Habib?
Ben Habib. Well, these are good people, but they need to know the place a little bit, and I don't think they. I mean, he's done some great stuff. Look, I also said to Laurie, do you know Laurie? He's yeah. So
articulated Laurie, well spoken.
Oh yeah, I know articulated Laurie. He's much better than the other Laurie.
No, his wife. She's really good. And I said, look, is there anything between him and Nigel?
Yes.
Because somebody said, have they fallen out? And she said, don't fall out at all. It was they get on very well.
I know, but that's good, and that's what you want to try and do, because this is the other thing. Well, the other thing that Ben is talking about is uniting the right. Do you think that's a good idea?
Well, yeah, and what about with the Tories and Robert Jenrick?
Some of them are just too integrated with the Conservatives. They just won't break apart.
Yeah, but they need to, when they stand in the general election, they need to separate themselves. They would have won the election together. You can't have the right divided and then Starmer sailing through the middle. Anyway, look, we've got to go through the papers after the break. 0344 499 1000 if you want to make your point, like Luke did, and Cindy as well. But yeah, 0344 499, Paula didn't. 0344 499 1000. We'll ring you back, and we'll be back with all the papers and your calls after this.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on your smart speaker, on your smart TV, and on your side. This is Talk.
Right, yeah, it's the James Wells show. He's headed off home, but he should be here next week, next Friday from 10 to tune in. He'll be back to Cateris Paribus. With me is Andrew Eborn, barrister, futurologist, magician. He does it. He'll talk about it. He'll say he's anything. But he has actually got the qualification. But we're doing your papers. But yes. Give us a ring. Daily Mail, the Reform Revolution. Labour in shock at losing ultra-safe seat in by-election. That's Runcorn. Reform gained 650 councillors and 2 mayors. Jubilant Farage vows war on net zero and wokery. Farage sent shockwaves through the political establishment yesterday in a stunning breakthrough. Reform seized control of a string of major councils across the country and inflicted a humiliating defeat on Labour in by-election in the previously safe seat of Runcorn. They're not even mentioning the Tories, and they've done really badly.
Did really badly. As many as Reform gained, the Tories lost, and it was fascinating seeing the results come in. But Farage is right to tackle those two issues, what Trump did as well, about get rid of net zero, get rid of wokery. Is the first thing he did, you might remember, when he signed the 300 special things when Trump came in, and Farage is doing the same. He will be the next Prime Minister, but I do think, and I said this before, that we need to unite the right, because if you fragment the votes, it's going to cause a problem later.
It's been called a reform quake and claimed it signalled the end of two-party politics. Like it's one party, it's the Uniparty. Party, isn't
Yes.
it? He said Reform had the Labour Party for lunch and wiped out the Tories in parts of England. It's all true. He said the results mark the beginning of the end for the Tory Party and Reform, now the main opposition party. I mean, they are now the opposition, aren't
absolutely.
they?
And listen, well, the
Forget
Liberal
Lib
Dems.
Dems. Yeah,
well, the
forget
Liberal Dems. There was good old Ed Davey doing his.
They just got the votes of people who didn't want Tory and Labour and thought, well, I can't vote because he's far. You know, they fall for that far right crap.
But I always remember the election, though, and this is what people forget, is that you look at the voting pattern. 14% of the electorate voted for Reform, and they got 5 seats in the end that way.
They got
12% of Liberal Dems, and they got 79.
But also, there was a massive turnout. I know in Runcorn it was something like 46%, which is very big.
Bang on the nose.
Well, you're a magician. You would have had it written on a card before and produced
it was produced together with a couple of rabbits.
So that suggests that people are now actually engaged. They can feel there can be a change, and that hasn't happened since Brexit.
I can tell you what also happens, and I predicted if it's a nice day, people come out. If it's rainy, people always, however, the electorate and apathy always wins. So the fact that the vast majority couldn't be bothered to vote.
A lot of Labour voters thought, I can't vote Labour and I'm not going to vote for anyone else. So
we need to basically get inspirational politics, and a lot of people make the point that actually it was a negative vote still. It wasn't a positive vote necessarily for Reform. Some people are turning around and saying they're working,
well,
they don't want to vote
it's
for
governments that lose elections and local governments, but, you know, we need to have compulsory voting because otherwise we're going to get sectarian block voting. There was a guy in Scotland saying we should get this controlled, this country by Asian countries, you know, Pakistan, and so we can control what's going on in the schools. I mean, how dare people from other countries come in and say, well, we're going to run, and they will because they're using our liberal system. So we need to have compulsory voting.
No, I think that's right. It'd be interesting to hear people's views, but I like the idea. Tell us if you didn't vote. Tell us why you didn't. If you just couldn't be bothered. Well, I always would like the quote from George Galloway. He said the two-party political sides, they're two cheeks of the same backside, although he didn't use the word backside. But it was good.
Yeah, I mean, in Australia, it's illegal to not vote, but it's carrot and stick. You get a sausage called a wally if you go there, so that's good news, isn't it?
Stick.
The Times on Saturday, let's eat outside. Well, some people got no choice, you know. If you're a soldier, ex-soldier, you got to eat outside because you're not getting a 4-star hotel. Christy Blinkley, 71 and worth £100 million.
There you
she
go.
looks all right. 71.
She's doing very well, very well.
Yeah.
You should see her parents. Lovely.
I wouldn't mind.
Very good.
Farage eyes number 10 after victories in council
he will get
polls.
it, as
Reform
predicted.
gains mark the end of two-party politics. Nigel Farage has said the era of two-party politics is finished after Reform UK won control of a swathe of councils in local election rout and ousted Labour in a by-election. Reform won the biggest share of the vote in the local elections, the first time on record that a party other than Labour or Tories has ever done so.
It's true.
Unprecedented.
History was made. The unprecedented use of the word unprecedented. I can guarantee that as well. The other really sad story on the front page of the Times is Harry, my father, won't speak to me. Now, whatever you think of Harry, and I know he's a polarising character, it is really sad. The King is
he
not
can't speak to him, can he?
Well, why can't he?
Well, because if he does speak to him, he might write another book. And
I still think it's sad.
It's very sad.
Any families have difficulties, and I think it is sad you have to live this particular one out in the public. I would love to see a reconciliation of Harry and his father.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, could he? I mean, he's already written about Charles in his boxer shorts and this and that, and accused him of being racist and been rude about Camilla. Is there a way? I know William is really annoyed with him. I mean, that's.
No, but I get it. But families get angry with people.
Yeah, maybe they can patch it up. Are you confident? You think?
Well, I hope. I would encourage them to do so.
But not with
I
Meghan,
know some people involved.
You know what I mean?
I would encourage
She's
them
never going to.
The other bizarre thing is that he gave an interview to the BBC, and it's still ringing in our minds about how Diana was deceived by Martin Bashir, you might remember.
Well, that was disgraceful.
On that sort of basis, giving that interview. And the scandalous thing, and I spoke to Charles Spencer on my show, the Andrew Eborn show.
Oh, did you?
Occasionally we had a show all on YouTube. Subscribe for
If he doesn't
free.
get the best guess, he gets their dads on.
That's true. There's always one. Ash is coming on. Well, I'll get
but my dad.
Johnny Gould is going to come on.
Exactly,
Rather is good. But what I was going to say, the sad, scandalous thing is that Diana went to her deathbed thinking that people close to her had betrayed her. And that's what the BBC, the Martin Bashir thing did. That was the most scandalous thing of all. Yeah. And that's why it's bizarre. It's still ringing people's ears.
And she got rid of her security because she didn't trust because of the Bashir
and
thing.
She felt
and they
so
got away scot-free, the BBC, as usual, with their scandals. They always get away with it. Free VE Day 80 souvenir tea towel. There's not many of these guys left, and girls.
A tea towel?
But you can get a souvenir tea towel.
Look at them.
That's the Daily Mail. Let's go to the Daily Telegraph. Harry,
Yes.
I want a heel rift with my father.
Good.
Well, yeah,
He's
but
taking
it's
my
not as
advice
simple as
already.
that,
See,
is
just
it?
one newspaper is all it took. He wants to heal. Do the olive branch. People are not here forever.
But can you do that? Can you go, they're racist, they're this, they asked the colour of my baby, they did this.
People
Can we be mates now?
Well, you're going to not mates, he's his father.
Well, yeah, I know,
thank you. The reality is that I like the fact he wants to heal. Let's do that. Let's encourage them. Whatever your views of the people, let's encourage them to heal the roof.
But never with Meghan, is it? I mean, she's never going to... She's got rid of her father, her sister...
Wouldn't that be nice to heal them? We should get them on the show. I reckon.
Let's get Meghan and Harold on the show.
We should do what Cilla Black used to do, bring them back together again.
Surprise, surprise!
We could do that. You could sing.
I could sing. I used to like that. You know, it was very cleverly produced because they'd all be blubbering because they just met for the first time. And then she'd just start singing the outro tune, wouldn't she?
No, she was wonderful.
And they'd all be blubbering.
Well,
they had a time, that pair. It was alive, wasn't it?
Absolutely brilliant.
You used to do warm-up. Did you ever do warm-up for Cilla Black?
I did warm-up for Cilla Black. But I did Blind Date.
Blind to date?
You remember that one?
Yeah,
the Voice of God. So I did that occasionally. I did Hail and Pace because I lived just over the river, for those who don't know. It used to be LWT, south of the river by Waterloo.
What, just up the road?
Yeah, just up the road. Over that way a bit.
St Paul's over the river.
Over the river. It's a place called the Temple where all the barristers thing, and I had a free scholarship flat for a year, which I never appreciated as a kid. But it meant I could walk over the bridge and do the warm-ups for the TV shows.
Fantastic.
Oh, I loved it.
Fantastic. And also the Daily Telegraph for the 6 votes that shook politics. 6 votes. Reform leader hails, just shows how important it is to vote. Reform leader hails by-election winners, end of two-party stranglehold on Westminster. This was 6 votes, but only needs 1 vote. That's how the system works.
Yeah.
So he's declared the end of two-party. Well, we read about that.
But what I loved is they demanded a recount when it was 4 votes, I think, the first time round.
Yeah, they made it worse.
And it was like, well, about 50% extra. I love that picture. I don't know if for those on radio we can describe it. It's the wonderful picture of Nigel Farage holding up his fingers and looking like more like a frog
6.
than ever.
Holding 6 up.
Holding 6 up just so people can work out what it is.
But yeah,
it's a great shot.
In the general election, my seat was won by Labour, only by 15 votes.
Where's your seat?
Well, in northwest London.
Okay.
15 votes they won by. So that's nothing.
This is why it's so important people vote.
I had to go at my neighbours. I said, did you vote? They went, no.
They said,
I said, well,
get out of my garden.
Votes, get out.
It's
I
true.
don't want to see you again.
It's true. You've got to work on that basis.
FTSE 100 records longest run of rises. So this is good. It's all going well, isn't it? Because, we're going the way of Trump.
We want enthusiasm. The thing the markets don't like is uncertainty. And if you get a bit of certainty now, you start saying we're not going to waste money on net nonsense and that sort of stuff. You work on that sort of basis. It's got to be good. The markets like that, and hopefully we can see a period of growth accordingly. Matt's cartoon is always good. What does it say?
Can you read it? Because I haven't got my reading glasses.
No, but it's a bit blurry, this copy. We'll have a look. Matt's cartoon.
It says Reform one here. They're already imposed tariffs on other counties and given Manchester to Putin.
There you go.
Right, OK. US to stop mediating in Ukraine peace talks. He's had enough, Trump, hasn't he? He's going, well, get on with the war. You want to have a war?
I'll tell you what happens. Trump is a master media manipulator. So what he does a lot of these things about media negotiation. He says to the press, he leaks the stories, and he forces people to the table. It's like planned. What he did is the planned theatrics. Remember the Zelensky in the White House telling him he wasn't wearing a suit and saying, look, you're going to start World War III, all that sort of stuff. That's planned theatrics. His thing with the Pope...
But do you think it was all a plan with Putin and everything, and at the end he's going to go, I had this all planned. Read my book, The Art of the Deal.
It's totally that. You basically do it in public. So he appealed to his electorate. I was on with David Bull of this parish at the weekend. David Bull, I was his presenter's friend at the weekend. And what happened, I was saying, the thing with the Pope and sitting down, that was planned. It's got to be working on that sort of basis. Nobody suddenly has in front of the world stage, the two leaders, an iconic picture. If it results in peace, it was worth it. And I think that's the point.
Do you not think he does like what we do on this show, flexi format? So it makes it look like you know what you're doing and you intended it, but...
Every word we say has been scripted.
Yeah, no, it's true.
It's got
and Jeffrey Boycott, first interview on battling cancer twice. Are you a cricket fan?
Oh, I love it. And now...
The sound of leather and wood.
No, that's a different game. But I love that. But the reality... But also, they've now talked about trans in the same way as the football have. They think it's all ovaries, was the headline of the
It's been banned now. Women in football are all levels, I think, is it? Is that what I heard today?
And it'd be interesting to hear people's views on this as well. I used to have somebody who would always speak up about the trans on this show, and we haven't had that on.
Debbie.
Yeah,
well, she was most people who are trans say, well, of course, people who are biological males shouldn't be in sport. It's just these nutty activists, some of them.
I think that's right, because I always say it's about respect, but it's respect for everybody in the conversation. And
it's about safety as well.
And that's what we say. Whilst you respect your rights, you've got to make sure your rights don't interfere with somebody else's rights. Yeah. And it's about people being safe. I do get it now. They do what the cricket people are saying is that you can have mixed sports and people can play in that. But I get it. There are some people.
Well, not really, because they can hit it further. I mean, I know in Hampstead, you know, the ponds.
Yes.
You know, they've got the mixed ponds, the man's ponds and the woman's ponds, but they've been letting in biological men in the women's ponds, and they're going against the law. They're going, no, we're going to continue. And obviously, there's a lot of religious women who won't go. What's your views on that?
Well, no, it's very simple. I am very
illegal,
clear.
Isn't it? I mean, you're a lawyer.
I am a lawyer. Remind me.
Can they be punished and sued
I
for
whip
it?
them. Whip them. The reality is that it's very simple. It's sports. It's designed on different sexes because men are stronger than women.
That's obviously.
That's what happens.
There's women already been injured.
Safe. We get that. The other thing is obviously in safe spaces, safe environments, and so on and so forth. It doesn't make sense. I get it. It's about respect, but respect for everybody in the conversation.
And also, a lot of them, you know, it's been shown that they're not really men that think they're women. They're men who want to get into women's spaces, and they have this auto something or other.
And I get it. And there will be some people watching this, Ash, who will feel very offended by those comments.
It's just true. It's just a fact. Don't be offended by facts.
But that's why I think we get an environment where we talk it through. And if people understand that...
But they won't listen, will they? I mean, look at these people.
No, but...
Exactly. No, but they don't, will they? It's like these people in Hampstead. The law has been clarified. It was never legal to do. Well, we're not listening. They're like toddlers.
And it's also, it's not being offensive. It's not recognising somebody's not an individual. It's turning around and saying there's a reason that these rules were in place. And for sport, it's very simple. There's to do with strength. Nobody can argue against that, and it'd be very interesting to talk about it otherwise. And the thing about safe spaces for women, they've got to be safe. And if we can talk it through logically, so rather than what happens is most people, as you say, don't listen. And if they don't listen to the argument, we can't talk it through. They just say, oh, it's offensive.
That's the way it's gone, though,
my rights, it's me, forget everybody else's rights. Everybody's rights are important. That's what we need to do. Talk it through, and I would love to hear people's views on it. But listen, give them the respect to have, give them a platform to hear those views. But I would love the answer to those questions. Why should people who are not biological women be in women's sport? It doesn't make sense.
Right. OK, 034449. We're going to do more papers and take calls. It's the James Wells Show. He's on his way home, but he'll be back next week from 10. We've still got loads of papers, and we'll take a few calls, like a smorgasbord. So, yeah, give us a ring on that number, and we'll be back in about a minute and a half.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on your smart speaker, on your smart TV, and on your side. This is Talk.
Yeah, 03444991,000, the James Wells Show, but he's gone. It's me and Andrew Eborn on Talk, but we're just going through. Well, there's not much, and they're all pretty much the same stories.
What same stories? About Harry, or it's about reform?
But I'll pick out the other ones, like the little ones, like Martin Clunes farming my nightmare dogs and their rows with the neighbours. Apparently, is he farming now, Clunes?
Is he?
Maybe he's doing a Clarkson. And the best VD celebrations in your area. Where are you going to celebrate VE Day?
Well, I'm right in the centre of town, and I have to say, if you look at the TV time, Times, I work with a brilliant artist called Eleanor Tomlinson, who did The Queen with Paddington Bear, and she's done a wonderful VE Day cover, which is on the TV Times, which you can have a look at that. And she was right royally ripped off.
Still going the TV Times.
I know, it's years ago, isn't it? But no, it is out there. It is out there.
But it's interesting, you know, Jeremy Clarkson's mum.
Yes.
Back in the 60s or 70s, her mum started, because Paddington was big then, you know. I think it was
exactly. That's how they made all their money.
And they made Paddington Bear dolls.
Yes.
And Paddington said, we're going to sue you out. And Paddington, whoever made it, met his mother, and he liked her. And he said, actually, I like the product. We're going to license it. And then that's how Jeremy Clarkson...
He was sent to public school. And actually, they met in the lift of the lawyers. And they really all grumpy to start with. And that's why I say George Orr, not War War. By the time they got to the top and bing, for the solicitor's office, they'd sorted out...
And you're an intellectual property barrister, so you would have loved to have been there.
Absolutely.
Nice piece of the pie there.
Nice piece of that pie.
And the Stow Daily Star, £2 free shot bet, William Hill, but don't bet it's a mugs game unless you can afford to lose it. And if the fun stops, stop or get more money and try and win the fun back. No, don't. Harry, my dad, doesn't want to speak to me. Cop all shook up by goal, and that's what's his name? You know, the amazing Egyptian striker, Salah. Mo Salah, isn't it?
Salah, that's the one.
Daily Express, Charlotte at 10, that's a nice photo. She's now using the royal
talking of Charlotte at 10, what I love is Brit Ethel is the world's oldest person at 115.
I know, we talked about it. Amazing, isn't it?
And she's so wonderful and so vibrant. I think she has like a sip of something to keep
They always
going.
have a tot of whiskey at night, it seems, and they say, so there must be something in that.
And she was there celebrating with her parents, which was lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But with VE Day coming up, it's the last, you know, they're all mainly 100 and over now, aren't they?
It is amazing. Well,
there's about 25 of them left.
That's the other thing I was talking to Errol Musk about, is that he's now working about longevity, where they reckon that in the not too distant future, you're going to be able to get people living to 250. Now, that raises all sorts of
unlimited people. Because you'll be able to download us onto a chip and put us on a Tamagotchi. And our ancestors, what they call the ones in the future, will be able to carry us around on a little sort of Japanese toy and water us, you know.
You can
you have to feed us and get our advice and stuff, and we'll be on little Tamagotchis. We'll be downloaded.
It is amazing, but if you look at how the life expectancy is massively increased, it's got a massive impact, however, because the birth rates are significantly lower than they should be.
We don't need them now. I mean, we've got the Musk robots, which are amazing. And once AI I mean, it's already programming itself, so it will snowball, and they will, maybe within our own lives, we'll be able to be downloaded to a super robot.
Happening.
So it's already happening, man.
There's something in Asia where you could basically give all your memories to this particular place, and they will create a hologram.
You're getting mixed up with Total Recall. That
fact and fiction are often blurred, and you can basically get a hologram of your relatives, and AI will mean that you can have a conversation with them, triggered by certain memories and how they would normally respond. They're going to be seismic
AI now. People are reporting their ChatGPT or whatever. They're actually sentient now, and they're actually having philosophy. They act like people now.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And I always say it was basically the imitation game. You know, that wonderful thing. They sort of turn around and say, when you can be fooled into thinking you're talking to a real person, that's when the imitation game has happened. And it's Alan Turing, at the back of a 50-quid note. What basically he was sort of saying, once that happens, it works on that sort of basis. Yeah.
He was the Bletchley programmer who disgracefully, you know, they chemically castrated him. He was pardoned of, you know, gay offences.
Absolutely.
A genius, you know. He was basically the man who carried on with the Babbage computer and made the new modern computer. All the world's computers come from this guy, and then Charles Babbage and Ada Lovelace, actually Byron's daughter, was the software programmer for Babbage.
Absolutely. But what I love is that now we recognise it. So on the back of a 50-quid note, that's Alan Turing, which is absolutely essential.
And he committed suicide, didn't he, in the end?
It was horrible.
It was terribly treated. A real hero. They say the Bletchley Park stuff shortened the war by 2 years, and this is how we treat our heroes. So, you know,
what's also interesting, talking about technology, is the other cyber alert. So you've got a number of people. There's Harrods are the latest retailers.
Well, I'm just looking. The FT experts warn big retailers over cyber complacency. Cyber attacks on M&S, the Co-op and Harrods have laid bare the vulnerability of the retail sector to digital. I went into M&S yesterday, half the shelves are empty.
Look at you showing off.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, I thought I like to go when they have the the yellow stickers on the.
Very good.
The slightly rotten.
You
range.
go in with your yellow stickers.
Yeah,
I've seen
I
you.
do. Yeah, slightly rotten. They taste a bit better because the flavours have melded.
No, but it's really worrying, and it's the same as we had with the post office scandal, same as we had when all the airlines, you might remember, were shut down. We can't be totally reliant on technology. You do need an analogue backup.
Now, you'll know about this. Cash stashed from spouses. We're hiding our cash away. You need cash anyway for when... We've seen what happens in Spain and that. They can't get rid of our cash because we need cash to go out and buy things when things go wrong and for other reasons. And once we lose control of cash, it becomes all digital. You've lost your freedom because they can debank you. They can ruin your whole life. Cash stashed from spouses. The other half hides fortune in the bank. Our producer has admitted he does that from his missus. Tight-lipped partners are keeping secret stashes of cash tucked away in the bank. Well, you won't actually keep them in the ceiling or somewhere like that. Among the 47% of couples with hidden accounts, the average pot was $6,500, but those aged 55 have over nearly $12,500 put away. Do you keep cash away from your missus?
I know, and we have a
do you give her an allotment?
Open thing.
Do you give her pocket money?
Everything.
Yeah.
Everybody has a thing. No, but also what's interesting.
Is your
about
wife a lawyer or anything like that?
We have a wonderful relationship. No, she's not. Otherwise, the two lawyers at home would be terrible.
You wear the trousers, she's the housewife.
It's got to be good.
Old-fashioned.
The reality is this: is when you take the survey, and what was it? 40-something% said they did this. The reality is most people who will be hiding stuff won't admit that they're hiding it. So the actual
you don't
percentage.
Want to do that 'cause you can't have fun with
exactly.
it. If you tell them, they go, "Where's that? 200 quid?" Well, I had a night with
so the actual percentage is a lot higher. But I'd love to hear from people if they're hiding their cash from their partners. Let us know and tell us why.
Some people said they wanted the money to pay for a holiday or a surprise gift for their partner. But others said they want to treat themselves and spend without their other halves knowing.
There you go. But I'll tell a journalist. I won't tell you.
Some said they wanted to conceal funds to keep some control and independence and avoid feeling trapped, so they can leg it if they want at any point.
And actually, that's a really serious point. A lot of people have this financial dependency, which means they cannot get out of an abusive relationship. So
well, that's another important reason why you've got to have cash, because people can be controlled by their abusive partners. More than 1 in 4 have it as a rainy day fund in case splitting up, and 15% are looking to pay off debts. You see, a lot of people, when the kids are growing up, they go, well, we only stayed together for the kids. I'm now 50, I'd like to have a new lease of life, and they end up splitting.
And it's so sad, isn't it?
It's sad, but some people it actually works out well.
Well, then don't take the vows. I mean,
don't take the vows, man. I agree with you.
In sickness and in health.
Yeah, exactly.
For better, for worse.
You're a disgrace.
Until death us do part, but don't kill each other. No, the reality is exactly that. I think relationships are tough, as you see in the press all the time. Those in the public eye, it makes it even worse because they've got to live it out in public. But work at relationships, and I think that's got to be good.
OK, here we go. This is an important one. Old fave pet names are axed. Pet names like Hun, Babe and Dart should be banned, young people. Yeah, or is it Dahl?
Probably
Dart.
Dart is going to be the sharp ones.
The old-fashioned nicknames are outdated and even insulting, reckon 13 to 26-year-old Gen Zers. Well, who are they? Who are you?
No, that's all right. I mean, I always think it's so wrong. We're trying to silence people from having a bit of a conversation. I always say it's about intention. And if you mean something good and something positive, you're not
they're not talking about pets. They mean pet names like... I thought they were talking like Rover and stuff.
Oh, no, Rover and Rex.
I thought they were moaning about a pet name. Oh, they mean like... So according to those asked, dislike the term duck. I like it. Derbyshire and Nottingham, all right, me duck.
Oh, all right, me duck. All right, pets. They actually call them up north in Durham.
Yeah.
They'd be called pets. No, but I think if it's about intention, we shouldn't get away. If it's a term of endearment...
Yeah, my old man, people are moaning about that.
My old man...
Gen Zers say the new raft of nicknames are more appropriate, including bro, bestie and bae.
Well, bro, this is my bro.
Yeah, and bae, what's your bae? Is that some of my best mate?
Bae is short for babe. You basically snip a bit off.
Well, what's a lazy language?
It is lazy.
There's no diction these days.
There's no diction either.
Because they're all on their, computers.
And they all have emojis, and they're not quite sure. We know what most of the emojis mean, but some of them are a bit...
Well, I like emoticon.
Do you like that?
That was what they used to be called, emoticons.
Yes. But the trouble is they can't speak now. And what happens is you see them out in restaurants and they're going there. They're all on their phones communicating.
Well, they don't go out. I mean, even tonight, people, since COVID, and there's such a lot to do now at home. You've got your Netflix and YouTube, and on a warm day like this. Anyway, look, we're going to take your calls and carry on with some papers. 0344 499 1000. We'll ring you back. We'll be back in a minute and a bit.
across the UK. On DAB+, on your smart speaker, on your smart TV, and on your side. This is Talk.
Yeah, you heard him. It's Talk. It's the James Whale Show. He was here from 10, left at 11. He'll be back next week from 10 on Friday. But it's me and Andrew Eborn. We've got a full board, loads of calls. So let's start with Wayne, the Lincolnshire poacher. Wayne.
Hello, Wayne.
Good evening,
Morning,
Can I have your
evening, yeah.
permission to talk to Andrew, please?
Oh, yes, go for it. Hello,
Through
Wayne.
me, yeah. What do you want to ask Andrew?
Andrew, you come from a musical family, yeah?
Andrew, is it true that you come from a musical family?
I do have
Do
music.
you? I didn't know that.
Oh, well, we have a lot of theatrical people in the family. So my aunt on my father's side was a wonderful actress called Jill Ireland. And
That's right, your uncle was Charles Bronson.
My uncle was Charles
The prisoner.
Bronson. Not the prisoner.
Not the prisoner,
not
no,
the
the
other
other
one. And she was also married to David McCullum, who was the Invisible Man, but we never saw him.
No, but listen, we all want to know about Charles Bronson, don't we, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, tell us about Uncle Charles Bronson.
I want to hear his question.
No, ask him that then, Wayne. Ask him about his Uncle Charles Bronson. Was he a good bloke?
Is he the one that's in prison, Andrew?
No, that's the other Charles. So he took it
Death
out of...
Wish.
Yes,
Michael
Charles
Winner.
Bronson, the actor, and basically he appeared in lots of films, including Death Wish.
That's
and,
what
and
made
he was
him big,
married
wasn't
to my aunt Jill Ireland, who was a brilliant actress herself. Do check out those
But did
old
you go
movies.
and stay with him in Hollywood? and
No,
that?
I didn't. But my sister did, because they were slightly older, and my family. But sadly, my parents got divorced at an early age, so I didn't really see that. side
But you
of it.
worked in Hollywood as well, didn't you? For
Oh,
a bit?
I do. I have my work's intellectual property, so I work around.
But weren't
the
you
world.
there in the 80s?
What, me in the 80s? I wasn't born in the 80s.
No,
I'm
of course
a
not, no.
youngster. It's got to
Any
be
more questions? You want to carry on with your interview to Andrew? You know, you carry on.
Yeah.
This is your life, Andrew Eborn.
And Andrew, so
Yes.
you would know what a Jew's art is, would you?
A Jew's art.
Tell me.
Art.
A harp, isn't that the thing you put in your mouth?
Mouth harp, yeah. Dong, dong, dong.
Well, you do know. Well done, because that was
I'm going to go for
Well,
the
that's
car
5
now. Ask me
points.
another one. And
So
I'll
it's
tell
an
you what-
Andrew Eborn quiz now
I
from
know
an
it,
interview.
I know it.
What's it going to be next? An Andrew Eborn cooking show?
Oh, I could do that.
Are you his mate?
I'd love to be. He sounds great.
Well, I don't know. He's been in prison for TV licence evasion twice, haven't you, Wayne?
I have indeed, and I think Andrew ought to know the full story, but I'll let you tell him that. Ash, I've got one more question.
Oh, yes, go for it.
I'll tell you another time.
Joe's so good. Poor old Joe. He always sneaks in. You occasionally see arms and legs and people crawling under
He looks
tables. It's
like
all
Boris-
Joe.
sort of his room is his Boris
He was a
Johnson's
delivery driver last week. It was brilliant. Love it. Thank you, Joe.
Sorry, Wayne, carry on with your Andrew Eborn interview.
Well, it's regarding this. What's in the paper now regarding Prince Harry. Now,
yes.
We know history is repeating itself. We've got Prince George back in the day.
Yes.
He went off with Wallace. We got
No, that
Harry
was
with
Edward
Ron.
VIII.
Yes.
Edward VIII, and we got Harry with Ron. So.
Yeah, but Edward VIII abdicated as king. That was actually a bigger thing. And he actually went into obscurity. They lived in Paris.
Wallace Simpson and that sort of stuff. Yes, yes.
She was American, though. It's interesting, the parallels.
Do you know what, Ash? When I watched the funeral in the day, it's the first time the Queen actually ever spoke to her at a funeral, a brother's funeral,
right.
Wallace. And now I forgot what I was going to ask. Oh, yes, about Andrew Harry's... do you think we ought to pay for his...
security?
Well, it's interesting. Well, the court decided that we shouldn't. And what Harry's... And I do understand, obviously, he's worried about his security and so on and so forth. But what we need is transparency and clarity regarding what the rules are. And if he's not a serving royal, he was basically what the court said, there was no grounds on which they could support him, because the policy is very, very clear. You have this position within the royal family, you get this amount of protection. If you don't, you don't. And you get that clarity. What we love about all rules is making sure it is very clear so everybody can understand it. I do, however, sympathise with Harry, because he's now saying he can't come to the UK because he doesn't feel safe.
On official business, though, they will, on a piece-by-piece basis, they'll give it to him, but they're not going to give it to him 24 hours a day,
And I
wherever he
think
is
that-
around the world.
And that's the question. What
which
do you
would
think?
get as a working
What do you think? What do you think would be
I
fair?
think is, what I've gathered by listening to the news all evening is if the King, it's called, gifts him
yes.
a visit, he will have all the bows and whistles.
Okay, very good.
If he comes on his own accord, he'll have to bring his own private.
Okay.
But
but on invitation, as it called, the king gifts his son.
Yes.
And there was another thing. What do you reckon in this the thing he did on TV? And he mentioned his dad. He didn't know how long he's got left.
On the book as well.
I thought you made such a good point, and I spoke about this earlier. I feel sad that he has to go on the BBC to say, look, his dad's not talking to him, and he hasn't got long to live, is what he was saying, and everything else. I want them to patch it up, is my view, and I think it's really sad when people live it out in the public eye.
But Charles can't get stressed in the way he is. He's got cancer. He's got a treatment. He's got to stay. I'm sure his wife is saying, I don't want you getting stressed about it.
But Harry's also said he's reaching out. He's trying to do the olive branch. Would you like to see them make it up?
So what I'd like to see any family make up. But we've got to understand, we've got William, what he's saying, we've got Camilla. There's a lot of people he's damaged. So it's not just child say, hey up, son, come back into the fold.
Hey up!
Also, he'd have to sign an agreement. He'd have to get search warrants. Anyway, look, let's have a look. We've got a little bit of Harold in his interview earlier.
Good. Well,
let's see what Prince Harold had to say.
Roll VT.
Run VT.
I miss the UK. I miss parts of the UK, of course I do. And I think that it's really quite sad that I won't be able to show, my children my homeland. There is a lot of control and ability in my father's hands. Ultimately, this whole thing could be resolved through him, not necessarily by intervening, but by stepping aside, allowing the experts to do what is necessary and to carry out an RMB. That said, there is. This all was initiated under a previous government. There is now a new government. I have had it described to me, once people knew about the facts, that this is an good old-fashioned establishment stitch-up.
Yeah, but he says he's sad his kids haven't seen their homeland. They haven't seen their grandfather. Well, why does he not care about that? And, he didn't go and see Prince Philip before he died.
No, he should have done. And when he was over here and Charles was in Rome celebrating the anniversary, he could have popped over there. And it's quite interesting, and it's not really surprising, but we heard one of the voices of one of his children. It's got a very distinct American accent. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, but I mean, this was Meghan. She doesn't want any publicity for the kids unless it's for her benefit. For her, and she had an American accent. I mean, this is terrible.
Well, it's not surprising. Come on,
but she looks like the Queen, doesn't she? The little Charlotte. She's lovely.
There you go. And I think all children are wonderful. And I think this is the problem. And this is the big other thing as well with Elon taking his ex, who the child that he had with Grimes, everywhere.
Darren Grimes.
I don't know. Darren Grimes.
Exclusive.
Councillor.
You heard it here first.
Councillor Darren Grimes.
Yeah.
No, but he takes his son everywhere, and a couple of things about that. People are saying he shouldn't have that in the public eye. Grimes doesn't want that child in the public eye all the time.
But it's great, isn't it? He looks like a great father, and he's with Trump. He's like a grandfather.
He is, and he loves it. And because the criticism, and again, I speak to Errol. He's on my show all the time.
Does he come on your show?
He does occasionally. What Errol was saying is that Elon was criticised by his other family members because his other children never got to see him because he's off doing everything. So he now takes X everywhere with him and growing up on that.
Well,
he's
got one he's sort of fallen out with because he says she's got, or he's got the woke mind virus. Anyway, Phil in Worthing, just before we go to news, but give us a ring 0344. Yeah,
we love Worthing. Love Worthing.
Evening, Ash. How are you, mate?
We're all right, Andrew. What do you want to talk about, Phil?
Pretty briefly, problem for reform, unprecedented.
Have you got a cloth in front of your mouth?
No, I'm on speakerphone. Hold on, listen.
Yeah. Oh, can you use your hands? Not hands-free.
They've got a problem.
Yeah, what's the problem, then?
The problem is they've got so many people been elected immediately.
Yes.
And none of these people, and they're all great people, I'm sure they're fantastic people, and it's exactly what the country needs, but none of them have got any experience. And these party machines, Conservative especially, are used to negotiating.
Yeah, but they're useless. I mean, look what's happened in Birmingham. I mean, a lot of them, they don't know what they're doing, these councillors. They have people like servants under them telling them how to do it. Well, they can't do worse than what the Labour councillors have been doing.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying beware, because it's almost like the two big parties are standing back and saying, "There you go." Now they've got plenty of time to pick them off in 4 years.
I know, and you make such a brilliant point, because this is the thing. It's easy, always easy to be in opposition. As soon as you're in power, you have to deliver, and if you don't deliver, you're going to lose that.
Yeah, but if they do deliver, they'll go, "Look, these guys are making a big difference."
Yes.
So it really is a pivotal point, isn't it?
Great point. Great point.
It is, but what a great victory! Come on, let's celebrate.
There you go.
Yeah. What have you done to celebrate?
Well, I'm still commiserating with the usual what happened with the Villa in the week. So
I was down there. I went there. I mean, it was terrible, wasn't it? I was actually at Crystal Palace versus Villa a month ago, and we lost 4-1. So we didn't seem to learn from that bad experience, and we didn't turn up on the day. But never mind.
And
it's only the FA Cup. Who cares about that now?
How come if you're based in Worthing, you support Villa?
Long story.
He's a failed Brummie.
Met a girl in Birmingham, went down to London, decided to go to the South Coast because couldn't afford to live in London. Right. Ended up in Pompey, moved along to Worthing, and everything was all right.
So when were you last living in Birmingham? What, 20 years ago?
Oh gosh, 1992.
And you go back up there, because that's about the time I left. It's terrible now, isn't it, up there?
I don't go very often, and I've got to be honest.
Nor do I.
I love my home city. It's just, I've got to be honest, I'm 65, I'm quite happy with it.
You sound like a
You sound a lot older than that.
But I also love, I used to be down in Bracklesham Bay, which is in between Portsmouth.
Oh, yes.
Do you know Bracklesham Bay?
Yes, beautiful, just up the road.
Stunning,
lovely,
exactly.
nice.
So I grew up there.
Yeah.
So fantastic
did you?
place.
Oh, Andrew, wow, there we go. You're a West Sussex boy then.
I am indeed. It's got to be good.
There we go.
Anyway, thank you, Phil. We're going to the next hour, we're just going to take your calls. It's the James Wells Show, but he's gone home. He'll be back next week from 10. But 03444991000 to talk to me and Andrew. So it's just going to be your calls. We've got Quinn, Joe, Graham, Susan, Sandra, Paul, Lee, John, and Lee again. So, but we'll get your calls on. We'll whip through them. 03444991000. But now it's time for the new news and a new day. So, yeah, back in a minute and a half. See.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on your smart speaker, on your smart TV, and on your side. This is Talk.
Yeah, James well unleashed, but he's gone home back next week from 10. He was great tonight. 03444991000, but it's just going to be your calls. Let's start with, it's me and Andrew Eborn. Let's start with Quim in Neath. Hi, Quim.
Hello there, we keep them both all right?
Yeah, fantastic to hear from you.
Right, what I'd like to say is that Elijah Farage has done well for today, but what everybody should stop doing is stop protesting and saying far right and basically being against their own people.
It doesn't work now, does it, far right? Oh, you mean what they're saying, reform?
Yeah, what they're saying. And everybody who's out protesting, what Britain should stop now is to stop and think and look at their own little kids, their own little girls, and think before they go to bed tonight or any other night, they should look at them and think, what is their future going to be like? Because other people who come in this country are going to go and get married to them at a certain age, which we would not like. And there'd be certain laws in this country, and basically they will not like.
Well, that's what's happened. We had the guy in Scotland saying we're going to get all people from Asia and we're going to run things in this country how we want it in our school. I mean, they're saying it openly now, which is outrageous. Imagine if we went to there and said, well, we're going to have our, morals and our culture. We're going to, because it's rubbish, the culture here, so we're going to change it. Imagine, I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, you make such a good point, Quim, as well, because what happens is we mustn't erode our basic fundamental British rights, must we?
Well, we're diluting our sovereignty with our society, with the people.
Yeah, but when you got the rainbow people, which I call, which is the nation of bisexual, homosexuals, and all the rest of them.
The bacon, lettuce, and tomato squad.
Yeah, okay, right, go ahead. What they should be thinking of, and other people who's out protesting, like from the river to the sea, they should stop protesting and just stop about thinking of the little girls who's in school today at a certain age, that what is going on and has been going on but not been investigated.
But they're delirious, those people. I mean, this is like people saying queers for Palestine. They're not rational people.
And I think as well, though, Quim, you must always, any society must have a fundamental right to protest, but it must be within the law. And you're right, you mustn't lose sight of those fundamental rights. Protect our children so they have a fantastic, safe environment to grow up in. But
these protests, they come with their masks over their faces, shouting calling for genocide and everything.
And that's wrong.
And the police aren't doing anything.
The police
it happened today in Swiss Cottage.
I saw it, and I was on the tube. I came back from just before popping here. I popped to the cinema down at
You were
Greenwich.
one of the ones with the masks on.
And I was one of the ones with the masks. But there was that Andrea Bocelli concert coming back, and there was a group of people who were just harassing a woman on the thing. It is disgusting. We need to call it out.
Nothing's been
What were you going to say, Quim?
Sorry, Quim.
Yeah. Well, but if you think about it, all the gays and all the bisexuals, when you got people out there saying, "Oh, let's allow the boats in," now all those elderly people and everybody else should stop and think to themselves, what's going to happen to my granddaughters?
Well, you're right, but I mean, a lot of the gay people, they pretty much, this country wasn't really racist. You had your outliers, and we weren't really homophobic, but all this LGBT has sort of sucked in the gay people into that, and they're suffering.
And we also don't want to conflate two issues. Absolutely, gay rights, absolutely, and we must respect all that sort of stuff.
We had all that sorted. It's getting worse.
The boats is a separate issue. The immigration, we must absolutely do what Trump says and say no means no. You come here illegally, you're out again. And don't give TVs and hotels and other businesses.
$8 billion a year.
Issues.
I mean,
crazy,
our old people, our farmers are knackered, our old people, people just generally, everything's gone.
But we must respect the rights of people in this country who are here legally and work on that premise.
But they come second. Thanks, Quim.
Thank you, Quim.
Sandra, Birmingham.
Hello, Sandra.
All right, Sandy.
Hello, Barry.
Hello. What a lovely, cheerful voice.
Right, what I'd like to say, can you hear me?
No.
Really?
Yeah, no, I can't hear you.
He's messing with you, so go for it.
Right, what I'd like to say is I live in Birmingham. We've lived in our property 39 years.
Hold on, where in Birmingham, Sandy?
Chelmsley Wood.
Was that posh?
No.
It is. We've lived in our property 39 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 years ago, we had 6 Iranian men moving next door.
Yeah.
Right. Come off the boats, Serco.
Yeah.
We've got to know these neighbours because the neighbour that lived there had passed away.
Right.
They turned it into a 6-bedroom house. We've got 6 men there now. We ain't got a clue who lives there.
We've got a what? Who lives there?
6 men.
6 men, 6 Iranian men. Are you getting on well? Are you having parties together and stuff?
No, the first 6 men was brilliant.
Right.
But over 2 years, these 6 others live there. We don't know where they've come from.
So what was so good about the first 6 Iranians?
Because they used to cook meals and bring them round.
So what happened? Are you saying they're lower quality Iranians that are coming this time than they were before? What's happening now?
That's just it. They change over. They move.
Right.
Change.
So just to be clear then, Sandra, is it Sandra or Sandy which you prefer?
Sandra.
Sandra, I
Call
thought
her
it was.
Sandy then.
So Sandra, beforehand, just to be clear, so your previous relatives, your previous neighbours died. They're now using this property for illegal immigrants, is that right?
Yeah, but the first ones were all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Serco.
So they're now
Give it a
using it
go,
for illegal.
Serco.
What do you think they should do?
The trouble is, Serco put them in these houses and abandon them.
Right.
No, but hold on. What's your point? You're saying the first guys were all right and used to make dinners.
No.
But what's happened with the second? What's different with the second? Are they having parties? Are they going out and just...
No, we don't know the lot that live there now, but the Serco put them in these houses.
Right.
We've had drainage coming up our sewage because they're putting baby wipes down. The dustbin men are knocking our door saying, why aren't they putting the rubbish out? They're not given the details of living in this country and they don't speak English.
Right.
And they're just sort of letting the authorities... What is going on with the bin? Have you got bin strikes in your part of Birmingham?
No.
Because some parts are affected, so it's all clean where you are.
It is interesting, isn't it?
We're so ill.
What would you like to see happen, Sandra? Because you make a really good point, and what I like about it is people actually who are directly affected, as you say. Some are okay, some are not okay. You've got illegal immigrants staying next door to you. You sound as though you're in fear because you don't know who they are. What would you like to see happen?
I'm not in fear. They've given us no trouble.
Okay.
What I'm saying is they don't know how to live in the property.
Well, they have to block your sewage with baby wipes and stuff, you know. There's certain cultures, you know, we have a culture that's built up over, you know, hundreds of years, and you clean your doorstep and you say hello to everyone and good morning, and that's all gone in society. We've got a fragmented society. I mean, what's the whole area like where you are?
Our problem is we got on with the 6 that lived next door when they first moved in. But they're moving on and on and on.
You have to keep introducing yourself with like a bottle of wine and a cup of sugar.
So what would the solution be? Are you saying the solution is teach them how to live here or don't let them come in the first place?
No. Serco are buying up the properties, moving these people in and not letting them know how to live.
Right.
Yeah, well, they know that's not what they're just interested in the contract. And Serco now have been giving out money to rent off landlords. You know, and actually people who are renting a house are getting eviction notices because people who've just arrived are taking their place, and hard-working British people are being kicked out their houses.
So I'm really interested in this as well, Sandra. So is your point teach them how to live here, or is your point don't let them stay here?
No, they shouldn't be here.
Shouldn't be here, okay.
No, sorry, they've given us no trouble. They've lived next door. They move on and on and on. They've lived next door for 2.5 years.
Right.
We've had no trouble.
Right.
What I'm saying is the person in charge of Serco, who we've been in touch with, you can't get hold of them, and they do nothing.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's more social.
Who's shouting in the background? Come on, girl. Who's shouting that?
My husband wants to speak. Sorry.
Go on, put your husband on. I mean, really, yeah. Put your husband.
Okay, who's the hubby? What's your husband called?
Is he Iranian? One of the Iranian guys?
What's that?
My name's Mark.
Hello, Mark.
Did you like your wife meeting with all these 6 Iranians and liking them a lot?
Yeah, we've had no trouble with these Iranians, but the people who have taken over, it's a revolving circle. Serco are only interested in getting their money every month. They're not interested in us who live next door.
Right.
No, they're not. But isn't it up to the council to say, you know, this is how you've got to live, and, you know... We're going round in circles, but I mean...
Circles with Serco.
I'm a biomedical scientist, professional, living next to these people. the next door neighbours, it's been taken over by an HMO.
Right.
They don't care. Serco don't care.
No, but they don't care. They're just... yeah, I know. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we need to sort this out. Thanks anyway, you guys.
Thank you. Lovely to hear you, Sandra. Bye.
Let's go, Lee in Manchester.
Hello, Lee.
You're on Talk.
Hey, all right, Bob.
All right, man.
You all right, Bob?
Yeah, we're really well. How are you, Lee? What would you like to say?
All right, Anka.
By the way, good performance on Blanket of the Week.
Are you on hand free?
I'm on my earphones.
Oh, right, okay. Well, oh, you said did you watch Plank of the Week? Yeah, I was on Plank of the Week.
Look at you.
It was
on
my
Plank
debut
of the Week.
Plank of the Week. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Who are your planks?
I love Plank of the Week.
That's great, isn't it?
Milkshakes, Tax, and Wurzel Gummidge having trigger warnings.
Yeah, Wurzel
Never did us any harm, didn't it? We turned into fine, upstanding members.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and him.
Yeah, Wurzel Gummidge is right, to be fair.
So, what did you want to talk about, Lee?
No, I was just I rang up before. I wanted to wish James very well.
Yeah, he's probably listening because he'll be getting home
I know, it's so nice. The love for James is brilliant, and it's so nice to have calls.
Are
like
you
this.
drunk?
What?
Are you drunk?
I've had a couple.
Oh, that's all right. Anyway, thanks, Lee. Let's go to Dave in Belfast.
Hello, Dave.
What about you, buddies? Here, well, the crack's going on 90 here in Belfast.
What?
Listen, there's a housing estate in Belfast, 70,000 people. And anyone bringing in immigrants, there's signs on the walls, you'll be spoken to. And that's by the organisations.
And what's going on in Northern Ireland? Because I know in the south, down south, there's loads of trouble. You know, you got that, what's his name, the boxer, MMA guy, Conor McGregor kicking off, and there's big protests, and it's actually uniting some of the people. What's going on in Northern Ireland about all that?
In Northern Ireland, in the big housing estates, big council estates, and a lot of people have bought their own homes. There's signs up on the shops, do not let anyone in.
Not let anyone in?
Any immigrants, saying to, what do you call the people that rent houses? Landlords.
Right. Don't rent your houses to them, Well, because what are they? There's sort of people making threats, because obviously Ireland, you've never been a colonising country, but obviously Ireland has a history of people standing up for invasion. So, you know, you've got there's a lot of history there, isn't there?
You know, the thing is, we've had it hard for 30, 40 years here, and we're only trying to get on our own uppers and make things go good.
Right.
And then we're going to be deliberately bringing in thousands of people. You know, our health service behind the UK's health service.
Similar situation. And what about your high streets? What's it like there? Is it like a foreign country now?
The high streets are good.
All right, okay.
The high streets are good, and you know, people here, yes, nobody's running out and shouting at anybody from another country, but they're not letting them in. You know, they're not.
Just to be clear on this, are you saying legal and illegal immigrants shouldn't be here, or just illegal?
Just illegal.
Just illegal, okay.
But to be honest, the main problem in this country is actually, it's not the illegal. They're a big problem, but we had 1 million net legal, and they're not even.
Well, they're
not net contributors.
It's the change the community, isn't it?
Well, it's terrible.
Well, guys, I would say any immigrant coming to Northern Ireland would have a shock, because they're not going to get a foothold.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying. So you're saying it's actually legal and illegal immigrants who wouldn't be welcome?
No, what I'm saying, everybody's welcome.
Right.
But they need to join with us.
Okay.
In our way of going.
Right.
And that's
exactly, You have to accept the culture, not bring in your own culture.
When in Rome, absolutely, that's what they say.
And don't try anything different, because it doesn't work here.
Yes.
You know?
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks very much.
03444991000. Give us a ring. We'll ring you back. We've got Graham, Ken, Paul, Tom, Joe, and Susan.
Tom Jones.
Tom Jones.
That's
great,
unusual.
great news. Back in
It's
2
not
minutes.
unusual.
Back of the net.
He's got it.
Across the UK. Across the UK. On DAB+. On your smart speaker. On your smart TV. And on your side. This.
Oh, you have.
Anyway, it's talk. It's the James Wales show. If you're listening on the radio, I was just putting that puffing
He
stuff on
was.
the,
A bit of a brush up.
There's 03444991000. Me and Andrew Eborn are in the James Wales hot seat because James went home. He did a great hour though.
That's brilliant.
And he'll be back next week.
Yes.
Caterie's Paribus. If you go on Virtual Ash, you can see earlier we did a little movie. He's got his little scooter thing, which is brilliant. I mean, they're really nice bits of kit, aren't they? I've got an e-scooter,
really fast.
but you have to balance them. These you can just chill out.
I
and you've
love
got
it.
to sit
And
down.
do check out, he does a wonderful podcast called Tales of the Whales as well.
And he spells his name W-H-A-L-E-S.
I love it. He does that with Lady W, and
Lady
it's
W.
brilliant.
It's
Absolutely
fantastic because it's like 10, 15 minutes. He's done about 100 on. He's done them every week. And it explains all just living with cancer and someone living with someone who's got, and just a daily thing.
And I think anybody in the public eye who can talk about those sort of issues,
it helps a lot of people.
It helps a lot of people, and it helps him talking about it as well. So it's a mutual exchange of energy, if you like.
Exactly, man. Right, I don't think this will be long, but Graham in West London.
Hello, Graham in West London.
Hello there. Oh, Jesus, our holy hero. Oh, Jesus, our holy rescue.
Thanks, Graham. That's the Bob Dylan of Talk TV. Let's go to Paul in South Wales.
Hey,
Where are you?
Paul.
Are you in Port Talbot?
No, Neath.
Neath?
Neath?
Yes, of course.
Neath?
Yeah.
Neath
We just had someone from Neath. Do you know him, Quim? Do you know him from the marketplace?
I think I know the market. I think he's called Quinn, not Quinn, guys. You've got to get it right.
Quim. I mean, what? I thought his name's Quim.
It is Quinn with an N on the end, isn't it?
I think it's an N, I hope.
It is an N.
Yeah, but Quim sounds better, doesn't it?
The
N for naughty. As opposed to the other one, which is definitely naughty.
Quim is completely something
Exactly, yes. Go for it. What were you going to say?
I like Quim.
Well, guys, I'm probably very surprised because they rung me back, but all I got to say, guys, is that just so proud of Reform today, and I hope we can keep it going.
Because you've got the Welsh election, haven't you, in a year?
Absolutely.
And it's looking like they're going to do well in Wales.
Oh, they'll smash them all. They will smash them all.
Smash them all. And what do you think the reason is for that?
It's all down to immigration, and it's all down to this spineless leader. Look, the Tories let us down for 14 years.
Yeah.
We put faith in Labour, right? I'm proud of the miners and the steelworks and all the industry that
they've destroyed the steelworks in Port Talbot.
Yeah.
It's still there, just about. I've worked there myself.
No, I thought they shut it down, haven't they?
No, they haven't shut it down completely.
But you can't make the quality steel.
No, it's not quality, it's crap.
It's the crap, that one made with electricity.
So what's the general feeling there at the moment then? You feel let down by Labour? Is that the general principle?
Absolutely. The Tories under Thatcher started it all off with the mines and the steelworks and the Fords and all these big companies, right? They've ended it all. Labour haven't helped at all.
Right.
The Scunthorpe, they didn't help at all. But what I'm trying to say, though, is we've had a guts full of them. This Starmer is a spineless coward and a bully, okay? Yeah. He's picking on the elderly, the disabled, the kids, it's an absolute disgrace what he's doing.
And you're right, the Tories are just not, there's no democracy, they're ignoring us and now they're paying the penalty.
So do you think, and this is one of the things that they're talking about at the moment, is uniting the right. Do you think Reform and the Conservatives should get together?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. No. We're not the far right. We're not.
No, you're not.
We're not racist. We're full up.
What about Paul Jenrick?
Robert
Jenrick.
Oh, and him.
No,
His brother.
No. Farage is the future. If I've got a 12-seater minibus, I can't put 200 people in it, can I?
The thing is, you can't trust people now from what they say, the Tories or Labour, can you? Because they just lie to get in. I mean, look at Starmer, look at the Tories, what they're saying. They're saying we're going to do, when they did their manifestos, Cameron and all that, we're going to get immigration down. They totally lied.
Actions speak louder than words. And what's interesting, we were making this point earlier, now that they've got all these different councils, they've got to deliver, don't they?
They have to deliver, and that's going to be the big one. But I tell you what, they can't do any worse than what the idiots are doing now, can they?
No, well, exactly. You've got rats running around. Thanks, Paul. Let's go.
Great to hear you.
Dave in Belfast.
Hey, Dave.
How you doing, guys?
Hey, really well.
It's all a mess. The whole thing's a mess. We're getting it here in Northern Ireland. We've got a border in the Irish Sea.
Yes.
Why? I don't know.
Well, yeah, that was a disgrace, wasn't it? But at least you do get benefits, don't you, from Europe? You know, you get the European sausages and stuff like that without any tariffs.
We're the biggest smugglers between the North-South divide and the Irish Republic. We could smuggle anything.
Did you forget that you spoke to us a few minutes ago?
Yeah, I did.
You did forget, yeah. Well, it's good I reminded you then. But anyway, carry on. What else do you want to say?
I'm only saying Northern Ireland is like England was 20, 30
years ago, yeah. And that's nice, isn't it? And it's like that, actually, when you go to some places in the countryside, like if you go down, Sussex, where there's not big motorways and that, and some country, although they're now, beginning to get infiltrated. I remember Cornwall, about a few years ago when we had all stabbing problems all over the country. Cornwall didn't, but now that has now got its own stabbing problems and kids. So it does spread out. We need to... Sorry, Dave?
We don't have that problem because our kids walk to school. They go to school in buses. They get back and forward from 10 years of age. Maybe the parents drop them off. It's not that mad run, They drop them off. The kids meet a school teacher and they walk up a road all together, down the road, and they get back and forward to school, not worrying about anything. And because of the troubles in Northern Ireland, you've got all these guys who were probably paramilitaries.
And they're still there, and they're not going to stop. I mean, I'm not, advocating any of this, but they're getting together now, aren't they? Because they've got a sort of problem that they're together with.
They're all standing together, and if there's a mess, they'll sort it out without going to the police. They'll sort it out. The police do sort it out. They're on the ground. And our police carry guns. There's nobody running about chopping up anybody in Belfast.
The most important thing is, as you say, is getting back to that sense of community. The community needs to look after its own, and it's that sense of community.
Well, that's the benefit, isn't it? Because it's actually, in some ways, it's bringing people, maybe the Catholics and Protestants together. Do you know what I mean? In some ways.
Nothing unites people more than a common enemy.
And sunlight is the best disinfectant.
Thank you.
101%.
There you go.
We've got that for 40 years, and we're looking after our own and our own capital.
It's unifying, because I often say if aliens were coming, the whole world would unify. You know, we wouldn't be.
Absolutely, and that's what you need to look at. But what I love is that sense of community, and rather than just saying it's somebody else's responsibility, the community has that responsibility. But the police need to deliver. They need to do their job as well, don't they?
They're not, are they?
The community's 101% on it, and I mean, if there's something outside the community, yes, they'll all go to the police, and then on some occasions, maybe not.
Right.
You know.
Thanks, Dave.
Good to hear from you again. Speak in 5 minutes.
Tom in Corby. Yeah, give us a ring in 10 minutes. Tom in Corby in Northamptonshire. Hi, Tom.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, how's it going?
Really well.
It's Tom.
Good. Yeah, I was just thinking about why don't we just, advertise the country as poor? And that way, it stops people. It stops people wanting to come over.
Well, exactly. All we have to do is say, yeah, you can come here, but you're not going to get in the country. You go to this island, and we'll give you all the food and water and whatever. But you've got to find somewhere else to go. They're not going to want to come. That's why they want to leave France, because they give them tents.
Like that. If you were to put billboards around like Calais or
of Ed Miliband,
and just it's someone like defecating in the street or just the litter in Birmingham,
But they know they don't have to experience that. They get 4-star hotels. They don't have to do all that.
You make a really good point, and the point is this, isn't it? Is that you don't make it attractive to come here. So we have a firm policy. Have a firm policy that you come here illegally, you're out again. Yeah. It stops them coming.
I mean, we are all poor. We can't afford to put our eating on or eat well, but these people can. They've got free heating, free food, free hotel, free everything.
Poor. It's just Britain is humorous self-depreciation, and to be honest, like if we take the mick out of ourselves and how things have become, if you've got you put pictures of come to the UK and there's stuff that don't go with people's beliefs, like
it's still better than where they're coming from.
About LGBTQ. If you have that as a positive thing, I'll tell you what, that conflicts with people and they won't like it and they think, I don't want to come there no more.
Yeah, but it's not. It's just the free stuff. Of course, they're going to come for a 4-star hotel, all the free and everything for free. It's an adventure. Take that off them, and they soon won't want to come. It's really basic.
Well, they try to leaflet people, as you say. They drop leaflets saying you come to the UK. There's not going to be it's not paved with gold and so on and so forth.
You've got TikTokers going, come here. It's brilliant, and they're all coming here.
And the simple answer is this: we need to do what Trump says. You come here illegally, you're out.
He stopped illegal immigration by 99.9%. Anyway. Yasmin the Witch, we're going to get... she did a prediction for me, and something did happen. We're going to take a little break, and we're going to get all Yasmin's prediction, what she's summoned up from the Beyond the Realms on the James Wells Show with Ash and Andrew Eborn. Back in a minute.
across the UK, on DAB+, on your smart speaker, on your smart TV, and on your side. This is Talk.
It's Talk. It's the James Wells Show on the radio, on TV, but it's me and Andrew Eborn. James was here from 10 to 11. He'll be back next week at the same time. And anyway, now it's time 03444991000. We've got a few minutes. But now it's time for Yasmin the Witch. She'll do us a reading if she's picked up anything for us. But last time you said something was going to happen to me on the 16th, and Wendy got in touch on Twitter and said, did anything happen? And actually, things did happen on there, Yasmin.
No, on the 16th. Good heaven. Hello, Yasmin. Welcome back to the show.
Was it good for you, Ash?
Yeah, it was pretty good for me, actually, yeah.
Brilliant. First thing for CPU, Ash, darling.
For what? Sorry?
CPU.
You're doing something to your property where you're widening something.
Your girth.
Either a path or a road or something at the back of your property. Also for you, darling, I feel as though your partner is going on holiday, but I feel she's not going
Sally.
with you. I feel that she's going with somebody else.
What? Sorry, what's she saying?
No, so she's cheating on you.
Well, it's all right. It's all an open. We all know what's going on.
It's just a nice holiday. And I also feel, when I'm looking at you, as though, let me just ask, what else for us?
You did what? What was the last bit?
She's asking
a contract.
Yes.
You're going to be signing a contract, and I'm telling you now, I keep getting, you should get an extra bonus financially.
Oh, well done, you.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, the Ocado driver's job is...
I get an 18 around that, so I feel as though it could be within 18 weeks or something like that.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Or on the 18th. I also feel around you as well that you're having either a new light put in your house or light fittings or something's been redone, decorated.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, I've got a flickering lights, a bit of decorating, yeah.
I also feel you need to go swimming.
Yes.
Because water is very healing for your energy.
It's true, and I can still go to the ladies' pond, even though it's technically
can't go
illegal.
to the
No,
ladies'
it's illegal,
pond.
but they're still allowing it in Amsterdam. Outrageous. So I'll be there in my bikini. Anything else, Yasmin?
Yeah, you need to have. You're having a get together with family as well.
Oh.
That's within the next 4 weeks, I feel.
Yeah, and I've got a mate coming from Taiwan as well, so...
Brilliant. And I also feel, Ash, when I'm looking at you, you do need to declutter a little bit. Because I feel with you, there's a lot of electronic equipment somewhere in your house that needs sorting out. Or
Shocking. Shocking, the electronic equipment.
It's a bit of an electronic junk room, I don't know why.
I live in an old house of a famous psychic called...
do
Betty
you?
Shine? Was it Betty Shine?
No, it was a woman called Ursula Roberts. And I get letters...
Oh, my gosh, she had a magical raven.
Do you know her?
Oh, my goodness.
Because she's quite famous. I live in her house, and I think I might... Can you ask her if she doesn't mind me?
She loved the garden, and she carried a raven.
A magical raven. Oh, how brilliant is
Yeah,
that?
because, well, I now look onto that garden of his. Yeah.
And I bet you get ravens there.
Do you?
We get, I tell you what, we get a lot of bats.
Oh, bats.
One come at me. He come at me.
Really?
A bat. Yeah, he flew right at me, and I went, ah!
Yeah, but you know what it is, Ash?
What is it?
You give off such magnificent electricity.
Oh, look at you with
It's
your
all my
magnetic
electrical equipment, isn't it?
Aunt Sally will be upset.
Oh, so you've heard of this Ursula Roberts? She's quite well. We used to get letters from all over the world to her. And obviously
clairvoyant and everything. She was brilliant, and she was really into the craft, into witchcraft. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Oh, well, that's
very
great.
famous. There's even
But
videos
does it have an
of her.
effect? Because obviously she would have spent...
Videos of her on YouTube.
Oh, we should look those up.
I'll have a look. I was going to get some of my books, but you know, when someone like you, will you have an effect on where you've lived? You know, for future residents of where you live, will they have some of your powers or anything like that? Does it hang around and linger?
No, but what I do is affect what they call guardians up round my garden.
Yes.
So I have things in my garden that protect the boundaries. And where
garden gnomes and
I've
that.
got raw iron railings what I've had put up.
So I've got to look out for a raven?
Oh, I love it. Ravening around, absolutely.
Now, Ash, I'm telling you, go outside, look at the stars at night and watch them move.
Yes.
Because the stars move and the UFOs. move.
Yeah,
so
you've got to watch out for that. And Corvid, you've got to watch that as well.
Have you got any things for, if you finish with my reading, have you got anything for Andrew? Are you picking up anything for Andrew?
The other thing,
He needs to get a Sorry?
I just saw a quick glimpse.
Yes.
And I saw you sorting out some very old silver, like a tea set or something silver.
Yeah, that's true as well.
It's like a Russian thing where they put liquid in. The tea's old-fashioned, there's a word for it. And it's a big thing, all silver. It needs sorting out.
Tea set that you put liquid in.
And they had those little, not a serviette holder, but a Soviet holder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, yeah, no, there is a bit of that. Yeah, you're right there.
So do you have something for me? That's what Ash was asking.
It needs using and polishing.
Yes.
Yeah, flogging. We need to flog it. That's the main thing.
You must polish your silver.
No, don't flog it. Keep it.
All right, I'll keep it. But I mean, silver, you can't put it in the dishwasher.
Listen, it's lucky for you.
Oh, look at that.
All right, well, I'll keep it then.
It's a lot of magical power, that.
Oh, that's good. So, Ash was on, do you have anything for me this week?
No, you've got nothing, no.
Yeah. I feel as though with you, I'm getting aches and pains in the legs, so I feel you need a
marathon.
Oh, she's giving an excuse for a massage.
Oh, could it be gout? Says the gallery.
You can use that money that you keep from your wife.
I
don't keep any money, yes.
feel as though you should write a book.
I'll write a book. Okay, would you buy it if I wrote a book?
Yeah, because I feel as though with you should write a children's book.
Oh, I've done a book of failure, Andrew Eborn's book of failure, and I've done a couple of episodes of that. But I can do a children's book. That's a good idea.
It failed, your book on failure, didn't it?
No, it was a failure of failure. I'm getting the second edition. Go for it. Sorry.
Children's book because your mind energy is very positive.
Yes, thank you.
You're saying it's childish, basically.
And you could do it about a magical boy wizard. But
that's a good idea. I was going to call it
Harry Potter or something.
No, about somebody who does magical tricks and things.
It's funny you should say that. I've just come back.
A magical dog as well.
Oh, that's a nice. I've just come back from the Bologna Book Fair, the children's book fair, and they are later this year going to be doing an Andrew Eborn character, a manga character, which is going to be a computer game, doing a series which I do called Fake or Fact. So you're absolutely right on that, and you think a book should be accompanied. I had a conversation about that today.
It needs a book.
Yes.
And it also needs a child wizard suit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? What they can pop on and
everyone's doing. Anybody's doing child wizards.
It needs a wand.
A wand.
They've all got that.
Definitely. I also these are accessories to the book.
Yes, I like the idea of a wand. Yes.
Oh yeah, you're thinking of the merchandise.
Merchandise is good. No, I like years ago I did a video called "The Art of Magic" with Andrew Eborn. That's still out there. So I like the idea of a book with a magic wand. That's good.
Also do
There's one copy on eBay.
And curtains.
Unsigned.
It's been there for years.
You can do bedding and curtains.
Bedding and curtains.
Bedding and curtains. Andrew Eborn bedding. Four-poster bedding.
That'd be very... Would you buy that as well?
No.
Yeah, children would buy it. It'd be fantastic.
There you go.
Children's bedding.
The other thing I'd like to say to you, I do feel...
Children don't want Andrew... Why would children want Andrew Eborn bedding? Oh, the big Christmas present for kids this year. Oh, an Andrew Eborn quilt and duvet sets, Mum. I don't think... Well, maybe. If you're right about this, I'll be amazed.
I also see, when I just looked at you then quickly, Australia.
Australia, yes. I like it down under.
I think, yes, definitely. I also feel as though you're going to get an Australian... I know it sounds crazy, client, but you're getting one. And you're going to...
It's not that crazy.
Like, what's the word? Two people collaborating together. It's going to be important.
Okay, well, no, that's good. I've been offered a big series in Australia, so that's an interesting one.
Yeah, amazing.
I feel October for you this year is going to be very magical.
Oh, yes.
I also feel keep a dream journal.
Okay.
Because you get a lot of dreams that are unusual, and that can spin off into things. I also feel there's something musical around you in your family. And that's very significant.
Have you got a musical family member?
A very, very musical family. Lots of music in the family.
Do you play anything?
I play the fool. A lot of my business. Yes.
You're going to meet what I call like a superstar.
Yes.
He's working with?
It might be Mick Jagger, I think.
Oh, it might be Mick Jagger. Oh, that'll be good.
I feel as though you can either get connections with him or something.
Yes.
And it's going to be important. Now, this is weird, but I've got to say it. Our quiz Queen that passed, Queen Elizabeth II, used to have, like, garden parties.
Yes.
Does our king do garden parties?
Yes, he will do garden parties. They always have them at Buckingham Palace.
Going to a garden party.
I've been invited. Oh, that's nice. Can I bring Harry? Because I want to reunite them.
No.
It'd be great if you could reunite.
Aren't you with me on this?
Like
I will bring Harry. He will be my plus one.
I feel as though Harry has been treated horrendously.
And you make an interesting point. I do want them, whatever your views on Harry, and people have their polarising character, I would like to see Harry and his father reunited.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
when I get my invite to the garden party, Harry will be my plus one.
I'd like to see them all reunited.
Yes.
But getting back to you as well.
Yes, please.
I feel as though you've got to... there's something about you hold on to shoes or boots too long.
Hold on to boots too long.
Yeah,
well,
you should see what he's got on tonight.
There's something about decluttering for you in your wardrobe.
Okay, I think that's probably
He's like Imelda Marcos with his shoes. He's got whole cupboards full of shoes.
I also feel Keir Starmer is going to have to go. He'll go. There's no problem there.
Well, everyone thinks so, yeah.
Going. I also feel as though when I look at Britain and the immigration, what you were talking about earlier, I feel this is all designed by the globalists to bring in more people into Britain, to water down the British culture, and to also have a European army.
A European, okay.
Remember, I've said it, a European army.
Yes, interesting.
Wanted it in the 80s, but now I feel Keir Starmer's going to say, we haven't got enough army people, and they're going to start recruiting.
Is that your view or a prediction? I'm getting mixed up between your witchcraft and your views.
Can I ask you one thing? Can I ask you one thing? Because what I love is I love the regulars on this show. We've got a week coming up. I'm sure you'll be back on the show. I'll be back on the show next week as well with James and Ash and things like that. Give us a prediction, which you can say now, which we can then play back next week to say what's going to happen in the next 7 days.
I don't do predictions like that.
You don't do predictions. This is all scientific.
Tell me. Let me put next 7 days.
Can you say anything for the next 7 days?
Yeah,
tell me about what's going to happen about Meghan and Harry's relationship.
There's going to be a volcano erupting.
In their relationship or generally?
7 days.
I feel as though for some reason I've got flights that have been not able to take off.
Okay.
I feel there's something happening in Florida that's going to be very super significant. I also
need a bit more specificness from this. Yeah.
No,
we can all just say that, can't we?
The Florida thing is very serious, and it's going to be to do with flights.
All right, thanks, Yasmin. Anyway, I got a text here. It says, Ash and Andrew, I think there's something wrong with the sound feed because you pronounce your last caller's name as Quim, even though its on-screen name is Quinn. I seriously hope this gets fixed because it could be a horror show if your next caller is called Regina. You need to talk to your sound engineers pronto. Martin in Whitley Bay. Hey, man.
Thank you, Martin.
Anyway, it's me and Andrew. We're in for James Wales on Talk 03. Well, don't bother calling. We've got a few. Call if you want. We might try and get you
got a few minutes.
We've got a few more. 034 499 1000. Back in a minute and a half.
across the UK. On DAB+, on your smart speaker, on your smart TV, and on your side. This is Talk.
It's Talk. It's the James Whale Show. He was in from 10. We're going to start a new feature called Judgmental, where we are like Joe. Well, Andrew's obviously qualified, although there's no legal recourse. It's all for fun. But if you've got any legal disputes, problems with your wife, maybe you're going through divorce, call in and we'll just tell you what you can do. But you best not listen to us. But if you do want that, we'll probably start it next week. Any legal problems, give us a ring. Judgmental.
And the idea is we're going to get two people on both sides who've got the argument, get them both on air and give them a chance
them to sue each other and then see what happens.
We will actually resolve the disputes or try and find the common ground.
Or make it worse, one or t'other.
Get in touch during the week. You can contact me at Andrew Eborn, at Octopus TV. You can also get in touch with Ash.
Yeah, at Virtual Ash. At Virtual Ash, and it's £450 per hour plus VAT and thinking time. Let's go to Marty in Kent. Marty.
Hey, Marty.
Hello.
All right, man, did you vote yesterday? Because there was a big vote, wasn't there, down your end?
Yeah, there was, but I'm of a certain age, so I haven't got any ID.
You haven't got any ID? That's a disgrace they make you do that.
You haven't got any ID? What is the certain age not to have ID?
It's too old for ID, but...
Really?
Because they can't fit the date on. So what, are you happy that Reform won?
I'm not really happy with the political system anyway.
Well, no, I know, but I mean, of the lot, that's probably a reason to vote Reform, because you hate the uniparty system. At least there's a fissure now in the political system.
Yes, but Nigel seems to have turned back on a couple of things where it comes to the immigrants and stuff like that. He seems to have watered down and going through mainstream.
Well, he's walking a tight line, isn't he? He doesn't want to become like full of the nutters like sometimes UKIP was. He's got to become professional. So I understand the line he's treading, but I know what you mean.
Well, he's trying to appeal to everybody, and that's
and it is
problem,
working. It seems to be working, doesn't it?
But Ash, by the way, I've phoned specifically to talk to you because, as far as I'm concerned, you're in charge now at the moment. And it's nice to talk to you.
Oh, that's nice. Thanks, Marty. And Andrew, of course.
Yeah.
No, not really that nice to talk to. It's nice to talk. Anyway, yeah, carry on. No, you're right. Yeah.
But,
yeah, man.
Right, so you were talking about marital problems and this, that and the other.
Yeah.
And
you need some advice, yeah?
Well, Ash, we spoke on the 21st of March.
Yeah.
And I told you my wife lied to me for 28 years and my daughter's not mine.
Oh, yeah, I remember this. Now, let's just tell the audience. You phoned in and you said your daughter of 28 years, you just found out was actually the daughter of your former best mate.
Yeah.
And we sort of... You sound actually better. Are you beginning to resolve this in your mind?
No, I don't think I'll ever resolve that in my mind.
So we didn't help, really?
Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't expect you to help with a phone call. I've had psychiatric treatment twice.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a third one.
Well, it's a big devastating thing, isn't it? It's almost like a grief. Well, it is a grief. You've lost sort of a daughter. Have you patched things up, or is she...
I've lost 3 families in one hit.
Yeah.
I've lost my own family, her family, and my best friend's family.
Yeah.
So the grief part of it is very hard to come to, and I don't see why he's laughing.
It's real grief. You're watching in delay, so if he's laughing, it was probably a minute ago, so don't worry about that. No one's laughing now.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. But the thing is, what I didn't say to you and James was, she had me arrested, accused me of raping her for 10 years. And that was in 2022.
Yeah.
And we're still married.
And no charges occurred, I suppose, seeing as it didn't happen.
I was never charged.
Well, because she was lying, is what you're saying.
Yes. While I was in custody, she took the deed to the house.
It's terrible, isn't it? I mean, and she's the one who sort of basically lied for all these years.
Yeah.
But I suppose a person like that, it's not surprising, but...
I've been on to the police.
Yeah.
I've been on to everyone. I've had psychiatric treatment, everything, to try and get through this.
Yeah.
And I'm still facing a third one,
A third what?
a third psychiatric treatment.
Right, yeah.
Because I've realised I think your researchers need to look at what is a covert narcissist. And that is
she's obviously something like. I mean, your whole life that marriage was a lie. I mean,
everything was a lie.
Yeah, I mean,
everything was a lie.
You're about 60 odd now, and you're sort of
52,
this is.
And she kept that up for nearly 30 years, and part of me admires that, but the other part of me thinks no one will ever stand what I've gone through.
No, well, unless they've had the same thing. I mean, I suppose it does happen. You know what I mean?
What would you say? Because there will be people who have similar experiences where they realise that their particular marriage or relationship is not what they thought it was.
And their kid wasn't theirs.
And so sometimes they do have. What advice would you give them?
I'll tell you what. Follow your gut instinct.
Okay.
Did your gut instinct always say, "I'm not sure this is my daughter"? And did it say it's my best mate's daughter?
No.
You never thought that?
My best mate never came into it.
Right.
Not being my daughter was there from probably day one. And because I've got a history of child abuse, I had to question myself.
You were child abuse is what you mean, yeah?
Yeah, and she used that against me. She said, "You've got trust issues because of your child abuse." This, that, and
well,
that.
yeah. Do you think that's what? Do you think
more sense than the truth?
So, do you think your wife? You already had subconsciously feelings that were bad about your wife, but you know you were sort of almost this Stockholm syndrome. You just told yourself lies. Right. You thought no.
I've got to say that is so. I wouldn't call it funny.
Yeah.
I have actually mentioned Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
In one of my psychiatrist treatments.
Yeah.
Because. But it makes you doubt yourself. It makes you doubt your common sense.
Your instinct,
It makes you doubt your instinct.
But I mean, what about the future? I mean, I know you're going through psychiatric stuff, and obviously this is a major thing. Your whole life has been, but you've still, you know, you're not an old man. You're 60 odd. You can still live a good life. Do you think sometimes it's good to, you know, they say it's not good to compartmentalise something. You've got to, you know, it's Freud. You've got to bring it all up. Don't you think sometimes it's good to lock these things away and just move on to?
It's really hard because, I mean, I wouldn't say got over my child abuse, but I've worked in construction for 46 years.
Right.
And done okay, you know. I was alcohol abusive for a long time, and that was because of what was going through my brain, thinking that I was right, and she was thinking I was, well, not thinking, but telling me that I was fucking wrong. Sorry about language. Yeah. Now I just feel like when I spoke to you and James, I said like I'm on universal credit. I can't get PIP. I can't survive on £390 a month. And James was saying, yeah, but you can talk to us. And you said the same thing. You can talk to us so you're capable. I'm not capable of anything because I think about it 24/7.
Yeah, it's sort of in your mind.
And it's really important you're getting proper professional help as well. I mean, it's great.
No, at the moment, I'm not.
You're not
at the
getting
moment,
proper.
I'm not.
Can I ask one thing? I know it's very sensitive and things, but the person who thought was your daughter for a long time, obviously there are many different sides to all stories. What's your relationship with her at the moment?
None whatsoever. She knew from she was about 21. Now, we're not talking about a little girl. She is now, let's have a look, 95, she'll be 33 this year.
Right.
When she left, they were 28.
Right.
She started calling me Martin when she was about 21. Said,
right.
And that got you. You didn't know about it, so then you started thinking, what's going on, and your instincts.
Well, no. I mean, I had that thing going on in my mind, and then I was thinking, no, this ain't happening. This really ain't happening.
But until the age of 21, I always try and look at all sorts of sides of this. Until the age of 21, she thought that you were her father. Is that right?
I don't think so. I think.
Do you think she was told when she was younger?
Yeah, because it's one thing. I mean, you have to realise I was kind of sure about this for 28 years.
Right.
And when you're screaming, like I said, it drove me to alcohol and whatever.
Yes.
And I'm not getting out of this the same.
What's her relationship with your best mate? Didn't he die, as I recall?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
So did she have a relationship with him ever as a sort of father and daughter thing with him?
No.
No.
Right.
No.
All right, well, look, anyway, look, Martin, we're out of time. But look, give us a ring maybe next week. But you need to get some help. I know the NHS, but their mental health teams are rubbish.
Must get some help.
But, yeah, look after yourself. Oh, Ken's gone. Ken's gone. Oh dear. What about Graham? He's ringing in. Should we end with a song from Graham? Oh, we got... Yeah, Graham. Graham, what do you want? Do you want to say anything, or are you just going to give us a little ditty?
I've got a great song for you. It's a brilliant one, this one.
Yeah, go on then, yeah.
Here we go.
I bet it's not.
Oh, my heaven, protect us all. Oh, my heaven, I love you. Oh, heavenly, heavenly, Mr. Rockstar. Oh, miracle on the guitar.
Anyway, this has been the James Whale Show. Yeah, just keep them bubbling under. It's now it's outro music, isn't it? We should do this every week. So that was me and Andrew. We were going to get Ken on. We thought we'd end the show with a bit of Ken.
Where's he gone?
We'll miss Ken's sermon for this week. We give you a free speech, Ken. Put a bit Graham up again.
That's just the greatest. We all love you.
Oh, no, what
That's fantastic. Just bubble him under us. Yeah, but so that was the James Whale Show. He was here at 10. He was gone by 11. You know, like in
great
the night.
To see him,
It was great to see him. He was on form, and he'll be